Iran have an immediate or long-term benefit?
I mean, yeah. Obviously, getting rid of a terrorist regime, the IRGC and the Khomeini regime aren't the nicest of people. They do fund terrorist organizations worldwide. Take Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, the PMF within Iraq, so on and so forth. The nuclear aspect. So, but yeah, those are some of the main reasons.
Nuclear aspect was the basis of our attacks, and we can't seem to get that under control. And now the
Well,
recent
that's one of the
ceasefire
big
talks is supposed to have a 300 billion investment fund versus complaining about the 1.7 billion they received under Obama for a failed arm deal in 79.
Sorry, can you repeat the last portion there? So my apologies, you cut out on my end.
The $1.77 billion they would have received for the 79 failed arms deal in compensation for the JCPOA under Obama very much barely pales in comparison to the 300 billion investment fund that we're looking to agree with in the recent ceasefire plans.
Oh, okay.
See,
As long as, again, as long as the IRGC and or the Khomeini regime, well, really both, end up faltering, I don't really, that doesn't really bother me.
I mean, we can say we've weakened some of those regimes, but more so broken them up into different factors. The new IRGC is definitely more radical, has a lot more intentions and plans to actually keep their uranium enrichment and nuclear capacity. And we've been failing to have more peace talks with them since. In fact, we're seeing reports actually that the president of Iran has just stepped down, thus giving the IRGC full control, or even more so than they had for the last 20, 30 years. I don't see how we're better off or winning anything when we've quite literally, to some degree, installed the current regime.
Well, we didn't technically install anyone. Again, the IRGC has been around for as long as the Khomeini regime has been around. But,
We weakened the
um,
previous one that was more likely
yeah,
to negotiate with the United
yeah,
States, and we actively were in negotiations with them before we struck them on February 28th.
well, yeah, and funnily enough, in these negotiations, they were refusing to negotiate on stuff like the ballistic missile program that they refused to make any concessions on,
No,
stuff
they
like
don't
that.
have to. The
But
ballistic missile program is used mostly for defense. Our main
yeah,
concern was
except
their nuclear capacity.
and the ballistic missile program. That was also one of our main concerns going
Yeah,
into
Trump decided
negotiations
to start
prior to,
whining about it. Yes.
yeah. And again, they refused to make any concessions, so they were being a bit bitchy on that.
They don't have
Second of
to.
all, in regards to groups losing their mind, yeah, that's fairly common within the Middle East. There will always be groups, ISIS, Al Qaeda, take your pick. They will always be running rampant within the region. That will never change anytime soon. But
I'm
just
saying many of
because
those
groups
leaders
and
have rose up and taken control over the more, I guess it was more centralized unit that they had previously.
you're telling me the Ayatollah's regime was centralized?
Speaking more so on the IRGC.
Oh, the IRGC and wait, the IRGC and the Ayatollah's regime were not centralized by any means.
I mean, I would
They're
say,
both extremely decentralized. Extremely.
I mean, sure, I don't think we made it better.
Again, just because they operate on a decentralized manner, which is again nothing new coming out of that region, that again, well, on what basis do you think that? Like, give me your top three bases as to why you think that we did not make it any better, and what do you take any better to be?
Top three bases, more people are dead. Protesters are not in any ways emboldened or strengthened to take over from these regimes. Again, the previous one, before we killed him, quite literally was in negotiations with us to give up the enriched uranium before the son then took over and is less likely to do so. And now we're in the full blown war before the blockades and everything else. And we quite literally have been spending billions of dollars overseas. I believe about 30 billion now, and it looks like we're no better off. We're no closer to any deal that benefits both countries. And gas prices are up here in the United States. Grocery prices are up here in the United States. We've seen several sleeper cells, some allegedly, some confirmed, rise up in the United States and start making attacks on our citizens and bases. No one's better off so far. Over 50% of
Yeah,
our
well,
defense has been depleted in the military for our weapons. It's going to take years to replenish it, and we don't seem to have any results of all of these actions.
okay, so 70% of what exactly within our military
I said
defense
over
has been depleted?
50%.
Over 50, my apologies. What over 50% of what? Like
Our
overall?
military equipment, yes.
Where are you getting that from?
Source.
Also, can you make sure it's not like CNN or Fox or anything like that, like a bias thing?
I have a couple sources on here. We can go with the Military Times. This was written on the 27th. The United States would need at least 3 years to restore an array of critical weapon systems to pre-war levels following the 38-day bombing campaign against Iran, according to the Center for Strategic International Studies. The new analysis released on Wednesday warned that depleted inventories have created a window of vulnerability for a potential Western Pacific conflict. The time needed to rebuild those inventories has thus become a major concern. The rest of the reports have come from anonymous sources and people not authorized to speak on the matter.
Okay, so one, I didn't see the exact number of them stating over 50%. I did hear them confirm what you mentioned of it's going to take time, obviously, to rebuild what we've lost, but I didn't hear the exact 50 in around 50 or a little over percent number that you mentioned.
Sure.
So there's that. Second of all, in regards to like this whole thing of these civilians passed away, again, do I think innocent life should be lost? No. But that's just going to be me morally grandstanding on an issue. And at the end of the day, this is a conflict. Civilians about to die. It's horrendous. And I know I sound like a dick saying this, but it's a conflict. Civilians die. It's horrible,
Yeah, I'm
but
aware
it
of
doesn't
that.
get the
But
reason why we're there.
Donald Trump tried to tell the American masses that we were doing it to protect these individuals, that we were trying to free them from their oppressive regime, and then we started blowing them up ourselves, and they're no better off than what they were before we started the war. So in that aspect, for sure, we failed miserably, especially if we're to talk about the dead Iranian children in schools.
So the dead Iranian children in the school. Sorry about that. I would assume you're talking about the school in Manab, southern Iran. What proof? What concrete proof do we have that confirms that it was a U.S. Tomahawk missile?
What concrete proof do we have? The independent reports in the region and other analysis made by BBC and otherwise, the fact that no one else would have the Tomahawks. We have no confirmation of Iran having them, as Donald Trump said, or Pete Hegseth. The only other people would have had them is, I believe, Japan. They're authorized to have some Tomahawks, and then I forgot the name of the other nation. Tomahawks are just easy to come by, and even if they quote unquote are, they get them from us.
So yeah, the Dutch, Japan, the UK, and America are obviously the only ones known to, have them. We're the only ones to operate in combat. But again, the question I'm asking you is not to repeat the statement that yes, it was a U.S. Tomahawk missile. I'm asking you to provide the concrete proof that it wasn't.
I literally mentioned the reports. Our intelligence.
And I asked, the preliminary report? Is that what you're talking about? The preliminary reporting, not the official final report?
What preliminary reporting are you referencing?
There was a preliminary report that came out of the Pentagon, not the final report. There was a preliminary report that came out of the Pentagon mid-March and around that, mid-March or mid-April, one of the two, that alluded that it was possibly a U.S. Tomahawk missile. That it was possibly a Tomahawk missile. But again, that's a preliminary report that leaves a lot of questions that remain unanswered and a lot of evidence.
What are those questions?
Again, I'm not there. Obviously, I'm not, I'm not
you
there.
You said it leaves a lot of questions. I was just asking you, what are those questions?
Yes, because preliminary reports leave a lot of evidence out of the fold. There's a reason why it's not called a final report.
Have you read the report?
Do you know what a preliminary report is?
Yes. What were the findings of the report?
Then you would know that a preliminary report is not a final report, right?
Sure. What were the findings of the preliminary report?
You. Say it again?
What were the findings of the preliminary report?
They alluded, I already stated this, it alluded that it was possibly a U.S. Tomahawk.
God bless you!
Yes. Sorry about that. That it was possibly a U.S. Tomahawk missile.
Thank you, Andy, for the, whatever that was. I'm sorry, I didn't fully see the name. WCU, Andy. WCU. Guys, double tap the screen till the heart bar gets full. Let's engage with the engagement. 230 of you in here. We need to get the likes up to 25K and beyond. Make sure you're also sharing out the live with your friends and family. Repost, add to your story. Send your daily heart me's if you have not already. Let's knock out the 1 cent gift goals, and you guys know what to do with the rest. Hold on a second.
But yeah, that's why, again, I'm asking you to provide the evidence that it was a U.S. Tomahawk missile, not people repeating the same claim over and over again.
Sure. So we have there's a couple independent assessments. One here we can do by NPR. There's a UN human rights chief. They conducted a probe. We can go to in-depth investigation. I'm trying to find the agency in this. This is U.S. Iran, those responsible for independent, deadly and unlawful U.S. strike on schools that killed over 100 children. Evidence gathered by the organization indicates Scoop is no was directly struck, adjacent to the RGC compound. This one was done by Amnesty International. We can do information from PBS News. This one shows I don't know who Geoff Bennett is, so I cannot confirm that one. We can go down to BBC, the Council on Foreign Relations. This report was done by. Hold on. Thank you so much, Shauna, for becoming a super fan. I appreciate you. I thought you were a fan on the Discord already. Human cause. Oh, had one for the Times. I just want to see who did the report. No, this one's just referencing the preliminary inquiry. So there's several investigations in the preliminary reports that would confirm this. You would be challenging it solely based off the fact that there was no final confirmation from the U.S., in which case that would be Trump, Hegseth, and the rest. And they've literally been lying their ass off this whole time. So I'm not sure what you would like to see to believe that the U.S. did it.
Again, I'm asking you to provide the concrete evidence. Everything you just read out and were stating just now, as you were scrolling through everything,
you want me to provide the concrete
just a repeating
evidence,
of the claim.
Repeating of the claim confirmed by independent reports.
What's the concrete evidence?
These are reports
to
done.
confirm. Yeah, what is the concrete evidence to have confirmed the reports? All I'm asking.
No one else would have the Tomahawk missiles or the authorizations or even the proximity in the region to do so.
That's a repeating of the claim. You're begging the question.
The claim is substantiated based off the information I mentioned. Again, you're literally telling me that I cannot say that it was the U.S. who did it solely based off the fact there's no quote-unquote concrete evidence when you have yet to cite anything that would challenge what's in the reports, the claims of the individuals who would have investigated what you're referencing.
It was your initial claim. That's number one. Second of all,
I'm aware of what I said, and I'm aware of what I'm repeating this entire time.
Can I finish, host? Hector, can I finish? Thank you. So again, it was your initial claim, so I don't have to prove jack shit on your initial claim. Second of all, in regards to, again, your initial claim...
No, it's not about proving jack shit on my claim. I'm literally telling you what the claim is. I'm telling you the agencies that are doing it. You have yet to challenge them.
Yeah,
the best you had is the preliminary reports by the U.S. I mentioned several others.
What is the concrete evidence presented by the agencies? All I'm asking.
Oh my goodness.
Not that hard. I'm repeating the same thing over and over again. It's not getting through your thick skull.
Sure. Cool. The U.S. intelligence agencies, and this was somewhat shown in the preliminary report, show that we use decades-old data on the region. Did you see that in the report?
So we used decades-old. Can you show that?
Yes, we did not have updated intelligence on what was in the vicinity as a school. We have pictures.
Mm-hmm. Can you show that within the preliminary report?
Sure.
And then also tell me where exactly you're reading off of in that preliminary report.
Sure. So two sources brief from the preliminary findings of the ongoing military investigation. Let's see, we'll pull up the report. Let's go back here. Yeah, I know Ford. I know, but again, he's wanting to see it. AP sources say this one was done by AP. He was official, presented the plane of back ends. His talented grants, target coordinates. This was individual in the preliminary finding who spoke on the U.S. Central Command, relied on target coordinates for the strike using outdated data provided by the Defense Intelligence Agency. And this is one person who spoke on behalf of the findings. The agency did not respond to a request for comment.
What was his name? Or her name?
They're anonymous. They did not speak. They did not speak on what you call it. Tell the information. Hold the fuck up.
Somebody has background noise.
Call from.
Okay.
Calling on the line. Hold.
Sorry about that.
They spoke anonymous. I don't know why you keep apologizing for shit you didn't say. W's in the chat to Sean for the $10 super chat. Enlist infantry tomorrow if you think the war is so very neat. This old veteran is so very sick of you MAGA alpha tough guys talking the talk and not walking the walk. Cowards slaving for Trump. Yeah, it's really fucking weird, but it is what it is. W's in the chat to you.
So they remained anonymous. They didn't end up saying who that person was. And where exactly did you read that from?
No.
Or you just read?
This is the AP News investigation that was done. Outdated intel likely led U.S. to carry out deadly strike on Iranian elementary school, AP sources say, and this would be on the 12th of March.
Okay, and this AP News was talking about the inquiry that was done on the preliminary report?
Yes, two of the individuals that they spoke to, both a U.S. official and the person familiar with the matter, spoke to the Associated Press on the condition of anonymity to discuss the sensitive matter.
And what's the title of the article?
I
literally
just read it. Outdated intel likely led U.S. to carry out deadly strike on Iranian elementary school.
Outdated intel. Also, what's that keyword? What's that keyword?
Likely.
So it's not confirmed then, is it?
Several other sources reported on the same thing.
Likely would mean that it's very well that the favor's more likely that the United States did it than they did, and that's what the preliminary actual investigation showed, using GPS tracking, using video, and using pictures, that it was a U.S. Tomahawk that struck. Not only did it strike, but it double tapped.
Okay, so it's not confirmed then.
It's
Lovely. It's not confirmed. It's just likely.
It is that we double tapped.
Again, the keyword that you just read out was likely.
What is it going to take
That's
for
not
this
a
confirmation of
confirmation,
yours?
right? Say it again?
What is it going to take for this confirmation of yours?
Until, let's say, the Pentagon comes out with the final report or anything like that, then I have no.
Got you. So the preliminary. Got you. So the preliminary report that they put out, that not a single person in the Pentagon is even challenged yet, and the investigation that has went nowhere because it seems like they've actually given up on actually confirming whether it was, or I would say officially telling the public if it was 6,000% our Tomahawk missiles, is your basis of believing that we cannot say it was the United States.
Repeat the last portion.
Oh my fucking God.
Again, you cut out. I was plugging in my phone as you were speaking.
Until the Pentagon comes out with an additional report following the preliminary report confirming that the United States 6,000% blew up the school with Tomahawk missiles, you refuse to assess the information we've been able to provide so far, not only based off of our intelligence in the preliminary report, but also other independent organizations that have shown the same.
Yeah, when they do not use ambiguous language like a likely.
That is one article that I referenced that said likely. You can ignore all the other ones I mentioned. This one that I mentioned specifically is where it referenced the two officials that actually spoke.
And all of these other articles are going off of a likely claim. That's the funny thing about it.
Okay, what other article have you seen that?
Because they didn't confirm that it was us.
What other articles are you talking about?
Yeah, like, didn't you mention stuff like Amnesty International, human rights organizations like that?
Yeah, I mentioned several others that never referenced the AP News report that I just gave you.
I never said that they referenced an AP News article. Can you repeat what I just said?
But again, that's the one that I literally just read.
Can you repeat to me what I just said? Let's see if you were tracking. What I just said, the statement?
You said all of these other reports that I mentioned were referencing what was said in the AP News report. Not the AP News report, the preliminary report.
I'm saying that they're going on a likely claim. Not a confirmed, yes, it was
the
us.
AP News report was showing likely based off the preliminary report and the individuals that they spoke to anonymously. The other ones that I referenced weren't going off of that on a likelihood.
Oh, they weren't going off of on a likelihood? None of them were?
I won't say none of them. All the ones that I mentioned specifically? No, not to my knowledge. And not based off the ones I just read here.
So like the Amnesty International reports were operating on a likely claim?
Do you believe they were? Would you like to challenge it?
Wait a second. Or when the New York Times ended up speaking on the
New York Times referenced the AP New one.
Yeah, well, again, yeah. Actually, the funny thing is, they were not even referencing them. They weren't citing it off verbatim. They actually did their own article on that. But again, they were still posting a likely claim regardless. Amnesty International, when they wrote their articles about it, likely claim. That's why they also asked the United States government, Trump and whoever, to go full force into the investigation. They even
And
said
what have
it
they
was
done?
likely. They said it was likely.
And what have they
in the
done?
US, not confirmed it.
And what
The
have they done
unanimous
so far?
sources, the
Who
unanimous, the
confirmed it?
unanimous,
Who confirmed it? Who confirmed
the
it?
sources that they are using are not using likelihood. They're saying they have information that they were able to speak to, anonymously, that these attacks did happen and that these attacks happened from the U.S. government, and that not only was it they hit once, but they were hit twice on faulty maps that they had that were outdated.
So, two things. First, the
So you're
AP
wrong.
News. Yeah. So a couple things. One, the AP News thing, the New York Times thing, Amnesty International, all mentioned likelihood claims. So I don't know why you would say otherwise. Second of all, in regards to
Did you
this
even
situation,
read the ones from those? Did you even read Amnesty International?
funnily enough, I did. And Amnesty
Did you
International
read? Did you
actually
read
wrote
Guardian
several articles.
and the Guardian's reference?
I didn't. You didn't mention the Guardian.
Well, I'm saying there's plenty others. You're focusing on the ones that I've mentioned, not to mention the plethora of others that are available.
Yeah. Show me any one of them that did not reference the likelihood claim. I'm waiting.
Call you on the line. Hold for a moment.
Can you name me a single one of the articles that do not mention a likelihood claim and go for an absolute confirmed yes? I'm waiting.
Yes,
few that-
anonymous sources.
A few that literally mention the preliminary report off the bat.
The
Off the
preliminary
bat.
report is a likelihood claim. The preliminary report is a
AP
likelihood.
News is the one
The
who said
fuck?
likely.
Yes, if they're referencing the preliminary report, holy shit. The question I just asked you was to name me a single source that does not operate off a likelihood claim but operates off of a confirmed yes claim. You mentioned, I asked you to name me the sources.
The
You said
people,
the ones.
oh my God.
Wait a second.
People
wait a
who
second.
spoke
I asked
anonymously
you-
on the matter did not say likely. They did not say likely. The AP News article and some others said likely in their title based off the preliminary report. The anonymous sources who reported on what they saw did not say likely.
So they confirmed verbatim, yes, it was the United States, not a likelihood claim.
They said yes. This has been reported on by several different outlets. Would you like to challenge that?
Repeat to me the title for AP News again, because I'm at my computer right now.
I literally just did this already. Are you not listening? Did you not pull up the article? Did you not read it?
Well, again, I wasn't at my computer, so can you just
So
repeat
then
it
why
again?
did you just ask me for it as you were looking for it previously?
Well, again, I wasn't at my computer then. I'm at it now. So can you just repeat it again?
Fucking God. U.S. likely struck Iranian school by mistake. Senators demand answers. Or, excuse me, outdated intel likely led U.S. to carry out deadly strike on Iranian elementary school.
And what's the paragraph in which says that yes, it was us?
Are you reading it?
Likely.
I'm on it. I'm on it right now.
Oh, you are on it? Okay,
Oh my
read
God.
it. Read it.
Yeah.
Read it, because that's what you've been asking me for this whole time. Just read it.
Yeah, okay, let's see. Outdated intelligence likely led to the United States carrying out a deadly missile attack on a southern school in Manab. That killed over 165 people, many of them children, in the opening hours of the conflict. So that's a first paragraph. That's a likelihood claim. So I'm asking you, where within the article does
reading.
it mention the confirm? Tell me the paragraph.
Keep
Be
reading.
on it. What's the paragraph?
Keep reading.
What's the paragraph?
Keep reading.
Can you not tell me the
No,
paragraph?
because you've asked me now for the third time to give you this damn article, and then for the whole time you weren't deciding to fucking read it, and I've done this already, and now you're on the goddamn article. So maybe you should try reading it. Not to mention, you asked me for several other sources, which I fucking did, and I mentioned article after article after article after article. You said they all base it off this claim. Did you read them all? Actually, I did. Okay, here's this one. Well, I didn't read this one. So how about you try reading it?
By the way, I asked you twice, not three times. But
Three
anyway,
times. Literally 3 times.
I asked you twice.
Sure,
not three
buddy.
times, but that's besides the point. So let's again, where in the article does it confirm that it was us? Not a likelihood claim. I'm still asking. What paragraph? That's all I'm asking. What was the paragraph? So you can't tell me the paragraph.
President Donald Trump initially blamed Iran for the attack, later said he wasn't certain who was to blame, then said he would accept the results of the Pentagon's investigation. The issue took on added urgency on Wednesday after the New York Times first reported that a preliminary investigation found that the U.S. was responsible. So I do want to highlight that part. He said he would accept the result of the Pentagon's investigation as you're sitting here challenging it. U.S. Central Command relied on target coordinates for the strike using outdated data provided by the Defense Intelligence Agency, according to the person familiar with the preliminary finding. The agency did not respond to requests for comment. The preliminary finding prompted immediate calls for more information from the Pentagon. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said that, quote unquote, the investigation is still ongoing. Both the U.S. official and the person familiar with the matter spoke to the Associated Press on the condition of anonymity to discuss the sensitive matter.
So it is a likelihood claim still.
No.
Do you know what a preliminary report
What did
is?
I just read? What did I just read? You just asked me to read it. I just read it.
Wait.
I just read it.
Yeah, and do you want? Let's read what
U.S.
Trump said.
Central Command relied on target coordinates for the strike using outdated data provided by the DIA, according to one person familiar with the preliminary finding. Then the U.S. official and the person familiar with the matter spoke to the Associated Press on the condition of anonymity to discuss the sensitive matter. They didn't say likely. AP News said likely, based off of the preliminary data. The individuals in the report, the individuals who contributed to report and spoke to the media did not say likely.
So a preliminary report is a likely claim. Thank you. Again, a preliminary report will always be a likely
you're not
claim.
listening. You're literally just not listening.
You're
by definition, you are trying to be ignorant. Hold on. You are trying to be ignorant, and what you're trying to do is dance around the preliminary. Let me finish. I've been on mute. You're trying to dance around the preliminary report that said likelihood. Now he's bringing up other senators and other elected representatives that are actually, and anonymous sources that are saying it's not likely that they have the intelligence that proves that we used faulty intelligence. We boomed up a school. 165 children were unalived. 20 facility teachers and students were unalived. Not only did we hit it once, but we waited for them to go out when they were trying to scrimmage out of the school, and we double tapped it.
Okay, so let's respond, and let's see if you like to let me respond instead of spreading out.
No, Ford. No, Jonathan Ross likely killed Renee Nicole Good. Until the investigation is done, we can't say.
Well, Renee deserved it. She hit him, so she kind of deserved it. But that's besides the point. We can get into that in a second.
Trump supporters request up in the box you the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen, 737-295-5321.
And good afternoon, Hector.
What's going on, Ford? You want to stick around?
Yeah, I got you.
Awesome. Caller, you're on the line. Did you vote for Trump?
Yes, I did.
Awesome. Hold for 1 second. Yeah, I'm not fucking around with these technicalities. Technically, because it's a preliminary investigation and every single thing that shows that it leads to the United States isn't quote unquote concrete, we cannot 100% say. No problem. You won't 100% say. I will 99% say it. No problem whatsoever. I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth with someone, especially if you follow with some bullshit like Renee Nicole Good deserved it. Fuck you. Thank you so much, Cullen, for the Galaxy. I appreciate you. All right, caller, you said you vote for Trump. Do you regret your vote?
I do not.
And why is that?
Because I think Trump has done a lot of good for the country, and I think that most of his policies so far have ended up making people like me more money in the long run.
Define good for the country.
What's that?
Define good for the country.
Good for the country. People are making more money than ever before. I think that's a good thing.
Who are these people?
People like myself.
Oh, do we have empirical data that shows the median household wages increase under the Trump administration?
Yes.
Really? Where did you see that?
Yes. It's in the economic data that just came out.
Is it? What economic data is that?
The economic data that just came out.
I don't know what that means. What do you mean by economic data? Are you talking about, I don't know, the unemployment rate? Are you referencing inflation, the consumer price index? What economic data are you talking about?
Median household income has gone up year over year.
What
Well,
data
gee.
are you talking about that just came out in 2026 that proves what you're saying?
I don't know.
It's
Real
way too
medium
early
income.
in
I don't
this
know like what
conversation.
year this is,
It
but
is way too early in this conversation for you to be
2025.
pulling things out of your ass, bro.
What's that?
Yeah, so I could just give you the numbers right now. It's actually real wages are actually decreased by 0.2% because real wages growth is 3.6% while inflation is at 3.8%, which means inflation is actually growing at a faster rate than what wages are. So it's
Median
on a
household
decrease.
income is different than real wages.
Real wages
What are you talking?
includes inflation and cost. So when you put in a cost
Okay,
of
I'm
like
not
rent
talking about
increasing, gas
inflation and
prices
cost.
increasing,
What-
and when food prices are increasing at a 3.8% and real wages are only up 3.6%, that means theoretically real wages are down 0.2.
Did you just say you're not talking about inflation and cost?
I'm talking about household medium income has gone up year over
Okay.
year, not
So,
real wages.
Let me help you out because oh wow. Let me help you out. So say you did your tax
Okay.
returns, right? And you were able to benefit from a little bit of no tax on tips and the deduction on no tax on overtime. And you were able to save $800. Check this out. We have data that shows that the
3,000, but okay.
average American paid $1,700 more on goods last year due to Donald Trump's unconstitutional tariffs. So this is where real wages, right? That real comes into play because to account for inflation, to account for the cost of living, that's where whatever increase you may have received, which again, you would then have to substantiate how that's directly due to the actions of the Trump administration, does not quite line up with inflation and cost of living.
You're
And it's
talking
actually
about the
pronounced-
cost.
and it's
Are
actually
you talking about the
pronounced
cost of
median,
goods and services,
medium.
or are you talking about the
Median, yes.
cost across the board?
What?
What cost are you referring to? Under what you're explaining right now?
The
What
cost
are
of
you referring
food,
to?
the cost of goods, specifically goods that we get from other countries that we were tariffing the hell out of. The cost of it literally includes to our what you might call it, our manufacturing, to our agriculture.
God bless you.
Just about everything has gone up.
CPI inflation and PPI inflation is what they usually refer to.
Yes. My argument is that real household medium income has gone up. That's all I
No,
said.
you can't say
So,
that because
there
real is
is
separate from
factual
what you're
data that
talking
backs
about.
that up.
There isn't. You keep saying that. You were just corrected. You're the one who just mentioned real, and that's the first time you apparently heard of that term. Actually, you said that real doesn't matter. You said real is different from the other ones.
No, you're conflating the two. You're mentioning
I'm not conflating the
something
two.
completely different. Cost of goods
The
and
real
services
is the only that
included
matters.
into medium wages, into medium household
It's
wages.
median.
I'm talking
It's
about
median.
actual
It's median.
medium
Not mid-
household
not-
wages.
Not medium. It's median.
Median, MEDIAN. That's what
Did
I
you
said.
just say?
You keep
Wait,
saying it wrong.
wait! Spell that again.
Oh my god!
Spell that
I
again.
don't need to spell median again.
You just did, and I heard a different letter. What did you just say? Thank you guys for the follows.
MEDIAN.
Oh,
Holy
okay.
shit!
I thought you said B.
You want me to spell holy shit too?
Goodness gracious. I mean, if you can. W's in the chat to Sean for the $2 super chat. Prove it wasn't a tomahawk, you sad, silly dipshit. See, his whole argument was you can't prove the United States 100% did it, and it doesn't matter that nothing else disproves it. So I'm going to run off of that little gray area. That's his entire argument. I can't stand those fucking people. W's in chat to you, Sean. W's in the chat to you also for the $20 super chat. Were you born in... Damn. Sean, I actually don't know how to pronounce this word. Were you born in anencephalic? Did mom get Zika? I'm going to look that up in a second, Sean. W's in the chat to you. Guys, the best way to support the platform is going to be the links in the bio. If you're over on the Tube side, you may send a super chat or super sticker. Thank you guys for knocking out the little 1 cent gift goals. I'm going to reset it to some other gifts. Please make sure we're taking care of Ford while he's here as well. Sir, you have not been able to substantiate how Donald Trump has made wages increase, especially on account of what median is or real wages are.
how I don't understand. Like, what do I have to do? Do I have to fucking send you a link to the articles that show
you're the one who
that
quite
medium
literally
household
said
wages are increasing?
you're the one who said this data was just released. If you give me the name of it, I can look it up for myself. Sure. And I can show all 700 people on both platforms watching currently. Thank you so much, Gucci, for the wild mic.
So let's try to explain this to them a little bit slower. So the median household income rose 3.6%. That is a fact. Economists use real wages, which incorporates inflation and cost of living. So that means what comes out of your pocket after you are paid. What they're finding is, according to the CPI, which inflation's at 3.8%, PPI inflation is about 4 to 6%. Then that means that your real wages, once your median household income, once you go to the stores and pay for gas and pay for rent and pay for energy costs and pay for natural bills, your real wages actually decline, meaning your money has less impact or it goes less further.
Sure. What's your point?
That's the point.
What do you
So
mean,
your
what's your-
real wages, your household median income didn't actually increase once you put into consideration inflation. It actually decreased.
You're generalizing the terms. There
No,
are two
I'm
different
using
subsets of the
economist.
economic data. One is median household income. That's one subset of data. And the other subset of data includes inflation. Sure, if you want to include inflation, you're correct. Your money didn't go as far.
That's
I
the
totally
only one
agree.
that matters. Not to mention, and thank you so much, Tremov17 for the
It
$10
doesn't matter
for the
because
$10
you're
super chat.
generalizing
Because
the entirety of inflation. We
Tremov
don't
just
pay
said
for the entirety of inflation.
Tremov just said what I was about to say. Median household income going up means nothing. It's not because of wage increases. It's because more people in the house are having to work. But that means zilch because cost of living is growing more. Precisely. More people are having to work, especially individuals who may have got their benefits
What's wrong
cut.
with working?
Their health care is more expensive. There is working just because you want to work, because you want to better your life. Then there's working more jobs, more hours for just to get a little bit more money because you can barely make end meet because the price of living is going up. The cost of living going up and more people having to get jobs to keep up with it isn't a flex. You having to work more hours to keep up with the same things you were able to work less hours for a year prior. If we're looking at the CPI that rose year over year from April, I believe it was 0.8%, is not a flex.
It sounds like an excuse, to be totally honest. What's the problem with working more hours? I don't understand.
I think
You're acting as if working more hours is a bad thing. It's
Chat.
not. It's a good thing. The more you're
Chat.
working, you're making money. What is the problem?
I'm going to try to explain this to you one more time. And apparently, now that I understand your level of intelligence, I need to change my phrasing. I refuse to
good
crash
one.
out today, chat. I'm not crashing out today. It's not going to happen. I'm betting money on it. So,
Level of
let's
intelligence
say
coming from somebody that can't even distinguish the
1 year
different
ago,
levels of intelligence.
we had to tell you, but okay. So 1 year ago, let's say you worked 40 hours. For 40 hours of work, you made $800 a week a year ago. That's what we'll go with, okay? And you have to spend $100 on gas, $200 on food, your phone bill, whatever the fuck, whatever. In any case, 40 hours, $800. By the time you were done spending everything you needed to every week, you were left with maybe $50. Fast forward to 2026 now, where that same $800, bet it, fuck it. Let's say you got a raise. Let's say now you're making $850 a week. But now your food bill that went from $200 to $300 a week. Your gas bill went from $100 to $175 a week. Even though you got a raise, you're not even working more hours. You're not even working more hours. You got a raise. You're making more money. But because of the increased cost of living, your money's not going as far, even with more. That's why It doesn't matter. And then you can go get another job, but you'd be getting another job so you can have some money left back when you already did the year prior, versus now you're working to keep up with what you were doing the year before. You're working more for less. Does that make sense?
You understand that inflation is a yearly thing, a progressive thing, correct? It's 2% roughly annually every single year. So your money always is worth less year over year, no matter what way you push it. You understand that, right?
That's not true, because real wages under the Biden administration
It is
actually increased.
true.
No, it's not, because real wages actually
Oh, my
increased under the
Lord.
Biden administration for 2024 at 1.1%. And after April of 2023, during the global pandemic, and real wages actually, escalated and outpaced inflation.
Real wages
That's not
went up
true.
under Biden because Biden got into office right after the pandemic was at its peak. After he got
No.
into
What?
office, after the pandemic hit its peak, people
No.
started going back to work, making more money. Okay.
That's
The cost
false.
of goods were
Economically,
still
the
relatively
pandemic
low.
hit its peak August of 2022.
What's that?
The pandemic hit its peak economically, the impact of it economically, in August 22nd of 2022. That's when it hit its peak. That's when we hit 9.2% inflation. That's when we also hit about $4.89 average gasoline per gallon.
Correct.
That was the peak.
Okay.
You're wrong.
Okay. And again, after COVID, after the huge deal that was COVID, people started going back to work. So therefore, the increase of wages showed in the data.
Real wages consistently went
Inflation-
up even after those people returned to work. We can count the numbers from
So if
when we
inflation
were,
was- if
when
inflation was
that
9%,
workforce came
how-
back,
how were
when that
people making
workforce
more
came
money?
back to the end of Biden's term in terms of the additional jobs, the additional people who were back in the field, we can count from 2022, or even let's say when they officially ended it, what was it, May 2023 to January of 2025. All of those metrics still went up, and it was not pandemic related.
Over Biden's 4-year term, average hourly earnings when adjusted for inflation, real wages declined slightly by roughly 1.3 to 1.5% overall. What argument? Where are you coming up with these numbers? Your numbers are not factual.
April of 2023, real wages outpaced inflation. Google that.
What was it? April what?
April of 2023, wages
Okay.
outpaced inflation. Yes.
So you're cherry picking data from just one subset of his term. Is that what we're doing?
Because of a pandemic.
Because in a year from now, when all this shit with
Do you give
Iran
Trump credit-
goes
sir, do you give
behind
Trump
us,
credit? Do you
and
give
things
Trump
get-
credit for losing about 10 million jobs? Because it happened under his
What's
watch.
that?
Do you give Trump credit for the unemployment going up to 10 million jobs lost?
during COVID?
Yeah.
Do I give Trump credit for that? I think it
Yep.
was a just the time that we were living in. It was unfortunate. It could have been under
Then that's the
Biden, Trump,
same-
Obama. It
then
doesn't
that's the-
matter. It happened.
Then that's the same behavior, the same theory that you have to have when you're considering Biden for inflation that was caused by not only outspending of $4.3 trillion from the Trump administration, the OPEC 2020 deal, and the overspending during the Biden administration. The inflation was imminent because it was a global pandemic to keep the economy going.
Also, the only inflation I mostly care about, outside of just regular year over year, we know it's going to go up. We know it's going to fluctuate. Is going to be inflation directly caused by actions or policies of the administration, such as the Trump administration. The inflation rate that we were talking about, hitting
Inflation only
3.8% of April and May, was directly due to Donald Trump's actions, not only in his unconstitutional tariffs, but the war in Iran. Those are the reasons that caused our inflation here in the United States. So that's what I care about. You cannot point to what Biden did that jacked up inflation outside of maybe your best argument would be the third stimulus package. But then again, the two biggest ones happened under the Trump administration in 2020.
I would also argue the Federal Reserve's cuts in 2019 prior to the pandemic also caused it as well.
valid. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Fed can do all that, but also money supply with the Fed has a huge reason why inflation goes up as well.
Yep.
When the Fed
And
prints
January
money,
20th,
puts money into the
January
system.
19th, January 19th of 2020, in the Trump administration, we printed what, $3.1 trillion. It was a record.
I don't disagree with that.
W's in the chat. Taguchi for the $10 Venmo. I mean, some of us wouldn't judge you if you crashed out. Yeah, I have a headache already. I'm not trying to today. I just need people to use their brain. We're talking about Donald Trump's actions and how he's directly been involved in the increase of goods, in the increase of inflation. We're talking about his policies. You don't get to fall back on, well, it's gone up year over year anyway, or prices go up anyway, because that's a cop-out. We're only speaking on the actions of this administration and their influence on those rates going up. In which case, Donald Trump is the reason why those numbers are up now.
Okay, so if you wanna talk about his entire administration, we can go back to the beginning of 2025, correct?
What is your point?
If we're gonna generalize, if we're gonna cherry pick data from certain
cherry pick? How did I cherry pick the fact that it was long established under the Federal Reserve by Jerome Powell and others that tariffs was the main reason why inflation didn't go down even further the entire year of 2025? How am I cherry picking the fact that Donald Trump's war in Iran led to the Strait of Hormuz being closed, and then that brought up prices here in the U.S. for gas, which then by default would bring up prices for groceries? How is that cherry picking?
Because you're cherry picking data from mainly specifically from this year due to the war in Iran. You're not talking
There's
about
not much I
entirety
can
of his
speak on behalf
administration.
of 2025. Donald Trump took over a successful economy where inflation was 3% in January 2025, and it continued to trend downward the same way it was throughout 2024. Donald Trump's policies, such as the Big Beautiful Bill, did not come into fruition fully until 2026. And then we saw those numbers start to go up.
In November of 2024, the inflation rate was actually at 2.4%.
Yes,
when Trump actually got elected and started talking about blanket tariffs, which caused, by most economists, caused inflation rates to increase to 3% by January of 2025.
That is a very good point, because the markets responded to some of Donald Trump's policies the second he won. That is correct.
Most of Trump's blanket tariffs didn't last any more than 2 or 3 months, right? So why would that affect 2026?
They were on and off. Some specifically, the ones he tried to bring up to, like over on China, 125%. Those ones were on and off. Consistently, there was a broad and blanketed 10% tariff. And then Donald Trump brought it up to 15%.
Let's keep in mind, we still have blanket tariffs going on now. He's just using a different rule to do the broadband of 10% global tariffs on every country. So he's still got it. He just used a loophole of a Congress authority of 190 days.
That is correct.
Yeah, sure, but again, I'm saying
super chat.
You're talking about inflation. Are you talking about inflation year over year or month over month?
This guest may be the least informed human ever. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. W's in the chat to the hate I feel for you for the $10 super chat. I need a spreadsheet of idiots who need to pay me to listen to them. I mean, I can start keeping a record on my end. W's in the chat to you. Thank you guys.
So is somebody with low IQ saying shit like that in the chat when they can't get on the line and have an intelligent conversation themselves.
I'm sorry. Do you think you've been having an intelligent conversation this entire time?
We're having a conversation, right?
Thank you for leaving out intelligent. I actually appreciate that. That's one of the most honest things you've said this entire call.
So towards the end of 2025, inflation month over month was going down 2%, 2.7%, 2.4% in January, 2.4% in February. Then it went up obviously after the Iran conflict. So when Trump pulls out of Iran entirely, in about 3 months, when inflation goes back down to about 2%, are we going to still complain about inflation at that point?
Again, we're talking about how Donald Trump's actions specifically brought up the inflation rate. none of Donald Trump's actions reduced inflation in 2025. That's why I'm not talking to you about the inflation rate of 2025, because nothing Trump
in
did contributed to
2025.
the lowering of those numbers. It was already on a downward
Inflation was
trend.
at
When the
3%,
Federal Reserve
was at
adjusted their
2.7%
rates
in July.
based off of the economy, that is what contributed to the lowering of inflation. And now we're seeing it go up due to the actions of this current administration. And even
Currently,
then, the
sure.
inflation numbers that you're talking about still didn't go lower because of Donald Trump's tariffs.
The inflation rate went lower under his administration towards the end of the year into the beginning of this year.
Oh my God.
It's the facts.
Do you
I don't
know,
understand why you're...
Do you know
He
what the
doesn't
average cost
understand
of
this.
coffee went up by because of Donald Trump's tariffs?
a lot, because I'm sick of buying it for like $7 at Starbucks. It's ridiculous.
Upwards of 50%. Because I believe we get a large portion of our coffee beans from, where was it, Brazil? I believe it was Brazil.
Mhm.
We saw increases of coffee as high as 50% because of that.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. There's obviously some things in the economy that's gone up for good.
So there's
obviously.
there's
the way it
another
works.
factor, like heavy coffee drinkers literally saw more of their money that you think they got back in 2025 go into things like coffee, go into things like goods from Amazon.
Yes, but that's not everybody. That's just a specific subset of
Yeah,
the population.
specifically talking about coffee. We can talk about everything everything else he blankly tariffed, or some of the other significant increases we saw in select sectors.
The most inflation we've seen is obviously energy, gas, oil, all that stuff. That I don't disagree with. But again, after this Iran conflict, I'm pretty sure, and I'm hopeful. I'm having a little bit of faith that things come back down to normal, because yes, inflation is up currently.
Sir, have you read the press conference from ExxonMobil and from Chevron that was just released 2 days ago?
Oh, the one where they were trying to get their shareholders to basically buy shares of their.
No, they were talking about
company?
the
Is that
economic.
one?
They were talking about the economic impact of what is transpiring in Iran, and they said, let's just say the Iran conflict ends tomorrow, and there's the peace deal that's actually signed, and not this back and forth crap to manipulate the market. They said that we have not seen the full impact of what the economy will have or what the economy will face for months ahead.
It's all speculation.
They're presidents and CEOs of oil companies. I'm going to take their word over you, who doesn't even understand what real wages are.
Presidents and CEOs are the face of their company, and they basically go out and say things to speculate on the economy, to get people to increase the cost of oil to benefit themselves. I don't want to hear
they
about
would respond.
Exxon
They would
or
respond to
Chevron
Donald Trump's actions the
saying
same
these
way they
things.
did when he won, the same way they did when he announced the tariffs, the same way they did when he talked about all his other policies. They would
They use
respond to
scare
what the president
tactics to
says.
increase the cost of oil.
What?
That's how that works. When
No.
the CEO of a company that's based a commodity, especially, talks about these things that are going to hurt the economy mainly because of oil.
You didn't
Going
even read
forward,
what they said.
it's
So what they were
scare
talking about,
tactics.
let me inform you what they were talking about. They were talking about the total collapse of the oil prices back down to $60 to $50 a barrel, and that the price of gas would continue to rise because of the disruption of the oil inside of the market, because the market of oil is a global market. They said that inflation would also increase, and we see that with PPI, which is the warehouse inflation at 6%, meaning the 6% PPI inflation, which is the warehouse, versus the CPI at 3.8%. That means that's going to have to catch up. So what you're looking at is number-wise, and what they are saying is in line, which means oil companies are going to go out of business while the price of the pumps still continue to increase.
How are oil companies going to go out of business when they're going to continue producing oil? I don't get what you're trying to say there. That's
Because when the prices per barrel dips below $70 a barrel, they lose money. They go to red. So large companies, when it's at about $90 a barrel to about $80 a barrel, they are making billions. Anything below 75, they go into the yellow, which means that they're still profitable, but not as profitable. Anything below 62.50, and they're in the red, which means that they are losing and the oil market is collapsing.
Did the oil market collapse in 2021 when
Yes.
WTI was about $50 a barrel or $70 a barrel?
Yes.
We saw
There
those
was
increases
oil
in
rigs.
They were
April.
still around.
No, there was oil rigs, and we lost refineries. We lost about 14 refineries. We lost hundreds of oil rigs. Hundreds and hundreds stopped pumping. Our actual, we were at the end of the Biden administration, we were pumping 13.6 million barrels per day. During the Trump administration, it fell to 10. The oil was collapsing.
During COVID.
Well, he was referencing
It was
another time.
collapsing.
Yeah, apparently I may need to add a call in progress sticker because you guys keep fucking with Ford. Ford is the co-host. The caller is on the line, guys. The caller is on the line. The index for energy rose 3.8% in April, accounting for over 40% of the monthly all items increase. It's fucking ridiculous. Over the last 12 months, the all items index, emphasis on all items index. This is separate. This doesn't matter about tariffs or anything else. Increased 3.8% before seasonal adjustment. The index for all items, food and energy, rose 0.4% in April. Indexes that increased over the month include household furnishings and operations, airline fares, personal care, apparel, and education. Conversely, the indexes for new vehicles, communication, and medical care were among the major indexes that decreased. The all items index rose 3.8% for the 12 months ending April after rising 3.3% for the 12 months ending March. The all items less food and energy index rose 2.8% over the year, following a 2.6% increase over the 12 months ending March. The energy index increased 17.9% for the 12 months ending April. The food index increased 3.2% over the last year. This is the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Okay.
So I'm happy you got a little raise. It means nothing.
Getting a raise means plenty for people. Aren't you encouraging people to try to get more money, to make more money?
There's no fucking way you're this dense. There's absolutely no way you're this dense. Does $100 go as far as it does now than it did as it did in the 70s?
Obviously not.
Obviously not. Does $300 go further now than $100 in the 70s?
Probably not.
Does $500 go as far now as it did in the 70s?
Would you like to talk about the M2 money supply?
I would like you to answer my question.
Obviously not. Inflation is inflation.
So, that's the point. Every time you respond with, oh, people's raises means their lives are better. I mean, I'm not going to tell you that to stay at your income level, but the raises are not matching inflation. The raises are not matching cost of living. So the raises are only doing so much when the economy is shit. And Donald Trump is the reason why.
Donald Trump is just the small subset
Why else
of
do
the
you support
population.
Donald Trump?
He doesn't control the economy.
He's the...
What?
The president doesn't control the economy. I don't understand why everybody likes to pit everything against the president. Even under Biden,
are we
he doesn't
talking about
control the
Donald
economy.
Trump controlling the economy, or are we literally talking about what he controlled that impacted the economy?
You just said under Trump, so you're relating
Yes,
the two. You're
because of Donald
corroborating
Trump's
the economy
actions.
to Trump. My God.
So is your claim that if Donald Trump imposes blanket tariffs across the world, that would not have any impact on the United States economically? Is that your position?
Absolutely. No way.
That is okay.
Obviously
Then
it
the
will.
president does have an impact on the economy.
That doesn't tell you the whole story, though. A blanket tariff, it could be anything. There's blanket tariffs currently. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to raise or lower inflation. It all depends on the economics.
Who pays for tariffs?
Corporations.
Okay, who does corporations pass that to? consumers.
I don't know.
And what we
I don't
find
really
out
know
is
that
there's an
answer, to be
investigation. There's
totally
an
honest.
investigation. There's an investigation, and the CNN actually wrote the actual article that 95% of all tariffs during the blanket tariff for the Trump administration have been passed on to the consumers. Now, that could be passed on two different ways. It could be by definition. It could be passed on by increasing prices, which we've seen an increase in prices, or we could see it through layoffs, which we have substantially seen it through layoffs when in 2025, Trump lost because of layoffs 1.2 million jobs, which was basically like one of the records outside of the pandemic.
Okay, what does that have to do with inflation?
No way this is serious.
It's a serious question.
No way this is serious. Okay. No way. No way, bro.
I'm still waiting.
Are you correlating job
Ford.
loss with inflation?
I'm still waiting on the economic numbers he said that showed all of these wages are going up. And all these things are better off. That's what I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting on his economic data that shows Trump's doing great. I'm still waiting on that. That's what we started off with. He never substantiated it.
Again, I mean, I'm pretty sure that you've got
Guys,
you
the drop
both
pool is up. Links in the
gave me
bio or link in the
rundown on
description of the
economy
YouTube
about
live stream.
20 minutes ago
Actually,
regarding
we're
10
10 down,
wages,
so 40 more to get this guy up out the paint. And please make sure we take care of Ford while he's here, because Ford has the fucking numbers. I know some
Right.
shit, but Ford has the fucking numbers. Please make sure we take care of Ford. Why else do you support Donald Trump?
I think that his immigration policy is pretty good. He's getting rid of he's mass deporting people. I think that's a good thing.
Why do you think mass deportation benefits your life? Thank you guys for the galaxies.
Because it's part of, I like national security. I like border security. I think it's a good thing to have laws, people to abide by laws in this country.
National security and border security were taking place under the Biden-Harris administration, so I don't know why you think that
Sure.
there's one president who did it less than the other.
I would
Having
actually argue the complete
more
opposite.
encounters at the border is secure.
Oh,
Having
yes.
an overrun of people into the country.
I would argue the same thing for it, but go ahead.
So I would argue the fact that during the Biden administration, even though we had upwards of like 150,000 encounters at the peak to 160,000 per month, I would encourage that everybody to look at the actual data that supports this. Is that when you have encounters, and 84% of those encounters are actually turned away. That means out of 100,000, that means only about 18 or roughly 16,000 of those are actually granted entry into the United States. Now, that means that we are actually encountering them. When we get to the point to where, like last month, the CBP report was about 31,000 encounters at the border, what I would suggest is that those are actually, now we're going to have more gotaways, because people are still going to find a way. Immigrants are still going to find a way to get into the United States. I would argue that under Title 42 and under the Biden administration, the way they counted it, that we actually had a tougher and stronger border.
I would agree. W's in the chat to Wesley for the $5 super chat. Tell this guest I get more intelligent conversation from the NPCs in Grand Theft Auto. If I wanted an intelligent conversation, I'd call anybody other than him. Thank you, Wesley, for your donation.
Well,
I
that's
appreciate you.
that is awesome.
W's
What
in
a
the chat to
great
Gucci for the
statement.
$10. Gucci said, Lord knows I'm tired. Thank you so much, Gucci. I appreciate you. And then I'll also
I love the
argue
peanut
that
gallery.
Donald Trump's enforcement of immigration or ramping up of ICE to go into the United States and scoop up everybody and their mama actually takes away ICE agents from doing their job of protecting Americans from the violent or quote unquote worst of the worst criminals. Because the previous
No, ICE
administration,
agents are there to deport people, so they're doing what we asked them to do.
Hey, Hector, let's ask the guest of who he thinks actually had more deportations at this point of their presidency, Biden or Trump.
yeah, who do you think, buddy?
Biden did.
Correct. So Trump ain't even deporting as fast as what Biden was, and Biden did it by expedited removals and also following the process without violating the 5th and 14th Amendment that the Supreme Court ruled 7-2 and 9-0 that Donald Trump had violated multiple undocumented immigrants' right to due process.
That is correct.
He also had help from the states when it came to deporting. The Trump administration doesn't have help from the states. They're pushing back on it. weird how politics work, huh?
Yeah, blue states specifically are not going to cooperate with the Trump administration's
Minnesota,
unconstitutional detaining
Massachusetts,
and
New York,
deportation.
Illinois, California. How many states do you want me
Why
to
should
go on?
states, first off, we're talking about states' rights, so I don't know why you have a problem with that. Why should states cooperate with the federal government to violate the law?
If people are here illegally, they do not belong here. And if they're in those states, the federal
People being
government
here
has a right.
illegally would have to be deemed so in a court of law, not to mention they would still be afforded due process under the Constitution.
Not when you have expedited removal that has been okayed by the court system.
Even in expedited removal, there's still a limited amount of due process if that individual is able to claim asylum. That is still an option for someone during the deportation process.
You cannot claim asylum. You cannot claim asylum if you don't know when you came in this country.
Unless you have a criminal record.
So, guest, that's also false. Under
Again,
US, hold on, guest, because you're wrong. Under USC 1158, which is the asylum claim, it actually specifically states that you can enter at a port of entry, whether or not at a port of entry by land or by air or by sea. In fact, it actually gives you 365 days to actually go to a immigration court and actually claim asylum. So when you say that they have to go through a port of entry, that is false, according to USC 1158.
Okay, and when you just said 365 days, so if the person that they're going after can't tell the government or the ICE agent or whoever that they've been here for a specific amount of time, what does that tell you? They've been here longer than 365
What do you
days,
mean,
so they are illegal.
What?
Period.
No, you can't prove that. Period.
Literally can't.
Okay, if you can't prove it either way, then so they're here illegally.
If you can't prove that they've been here 365 days or not, that wouldn't change the fact that if you set them on the deportation process, they would still be allowed, even under expedited removal, to claim asylum.
Yes, because also under 1325, that is actually part of the legal process. It's only a civil penalty when they're actually caught outside of that refrain, which is about $0 to $500 fine. The only time that they would see any type of jail sentence because of the misdemeanor is if they lied about their identity. That's USC 1325.
You have to file a form for asylum
you don't.
1 year of coming to the United States.
That's
yes,
not how it works. That's not how it works. I just explained it to you.
USCIS.
No,
You could actually just go to an immigration court and literally file it right there in front of them.
and you have 365 days to do so, which means you can literally be here for 364 days, and the last day you can actually do it. W's in the chat to Sean for the $5 super chat. If they continue to detain and deport foreign workers, we will suffer under what I call deportflation. That's funny, Sean. Deportflation. I mean, we are dealing with some of that right now in regards to our agriculture. W's in the chat to you. I would argue it's not worse just because of places like California. W's in the chat to Nina for the 5. My grandma passed this weekend. Your lives helped me through. Also, fuck this. I'm sorry, Nina. I'm so sorry, Nina, about your grandma. Guys, can we get some hearts in the chat for Nina's grandma, please? Can we get some hearts in the chat for Nina's grandma? I'm not a religious person, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you I believe they're in a better place, but I'm sure they lived a beautiful life, and they live on in your hearts and minds as well. Hearts in the chat, please, for Nina's grandma. I'm so sorry to hear that, and I hope you're at least being somewhat entertained by whatever the fuck this conversation is, Nina, or distracted. W's in the chat to Big Baby for the 10. I'm losing brain cells listening to him. Imagine me. W's in chat to Big Baby once again for the 5. I hope to bump into you, bro. You the best. Are you in Texas? You in Dallas? We'll see. W's in the chat to you. So that's it. Since 20. Perfect. Guys, best way to support the platform is going to links in the bio. Ford, do you have any links in your bio?
I do, but I would rather them support you.
Yeah, so anyways, Ford's links are also in his bio. If you'd like to take care of him, please feel free to do so. I would love to hear some thank yous from Ford for the information he's providing up here. Plus, he never co-hosts with me. He's always down in the chat. So let's take care of him while he's up here. Let's show Ford how the hectivists take care of our guests, okay? So back to you. Can you substantiate how in any way, shape, or form that mass deportation benefits your life in a positive way?
Because I think people should come to this country legally, and it should be part of assimilating into this country. Come here legally.
Maybe you didn't hear my question. I'm going to go and ask you to. I'm going to ask it again. I want you to actually comprehend it properly, right?
Because I feel more safe when people come here legally.
You feel more safe. You feel more safe. Yeah. What am I supposed to do with your feelings?
I don't know. Listen to me.
Your feelings are irrelevant when they do
my
not
feelings
align with
Oh,
reality.
exactly. My feelings are irrelevant because I
When
don't
they
align
don't
with your,
line up
your
with
viewpoint.
reality. Reality.
The reality is, if you come here legally, most people don't have a problem with that.
Donald Trump has
That's the reality.
Donald Trump canceled the legal asylum applications of 30,000 people the second he got into the Oval Office, and several others he's restricted since then. He has literally stopped individuals from certain countries from coming into the United States despite their records. He's canceled pending processes. He's upped the fees for you to become a legal immigrant, and even on select visas outside of ramping up H-1Bs for the likes of people like Elon Musk. Donald Trump doesn't give a shit about legal immigration when he's done everything in his power to restrict that as well. And when he sent ICE agents to go into courts and take people out who were doing it the right way, that also went to show that he doesn't give a shit about legality.
The president has the right to enforce those type of laws.
He's not enforcing
And
the
that's
law. He's
that's the way it
violating it.
works.
That's the whole point. He is violating the 4th, the 5th, the 10th, and currently trying to get the 14th, excuse me, abolished.
He's definitely not trying to get the 14th Amendment.
Yes, he is.
Wow.
Yes, he is. We had the Supreme Court
That's
ruling.
your opinion.
Not the ruling. No, that's the hearing that we had back in April. Yeah, last month.
And that's up to
Paul
the Supreme
Bauer.
Court, right?
Paul
That's not up to
Bauer
Trump.
went to the Supreme Court and made it. It was who was challenging it? My guy, who was challenging it?
Doesn't matter. It's going through the court system, and they will determine what the law is, and that's it.
First off, I'm only talking about him
Anybody
now.
can challenge
I'm only
stuff like
talking about him now going through the Supreme Court. Executive Order 1416 or 14170 is an executive order that he passed that the lower courts had to block, to where he tried to do away with birthright citizenship. He already tried to do it through executive action. Because that failed, now he's taking the hearing up to the Supreme Court. Thankfully, some of the Republicans, despite their bullshit, are actual constitutionalists, and they didn't give it much the time of day. We have the reports that not only did Donald Trump personally go to the hearing, but he stormed out because of what the conservative-leaning judges were saying.
Again, it's up to the Supreme Court to make that determination.
Are you
right?
going to completely ignore the executive order that I mentioned alongside several others that he's exercised that challenge the 14th Amendment and others? So he's already violating the law.
And it's going through due process in the courts. We will see what the case.
He is
what
still
happens,
violating due
what they
process.
rule
The
on.
thing about due process is that it takes time, and in the time between, in between time, before we get the rulings on something being wrong or unconstitutional, you're still violating the law.
You're not violating the law if there is no precedent. I don't understand why people keep saying that. There's no precedent.
You would be. There
regarding
would
what
still
you're
be a
saying.
determination. That is
There
such
is
a
no
garbage
precedent.
argument. Because then by your logic, we'd have to go back to, let's say, illegal immigration or unauthorized entry. You'd then be saying that the undocumented migrant would not have violated any law because we wouldn't have had the confirmation or the conviction.
Undocumented migrants already broke the law by coming here illegally if they did not file for a legal status.
Says who?
Says the law. If
Well,
you don't
if the law
file
says
for
you have
legal status in this
365,
country, you are
if
here
the
illegally.
law says you have 365 days to claim asylum here in the United States, and there would be no way
That
of us
is
knowing whether
that
someone's
is
been
one
here
avenue.
for 365 days or not, how can you ascertain that?
Why can't if I go to you and I say, how long have you been here in this country, and you tell me you don't know, right then and there tells me that there's something
Who are you
fishy
talking
going
about?
on.
Who are
or
these
that
people
you
that are out here
here
saying we
illegally.
don't know how long we've been here? Who the fuck would say that? Who's telling an American that and risking deportation?
I'm telling them I
Again,
got here
it's
last
part
week.
of the process. Yes.
What?
If they can't come up with if they cannot tell you that they came here at a certain time on a certain date, who you gonna trust at that point?
W's in chat to Ashley
they were here
55. I'm heavily learning disabled with the TBI, and I followed everything you said about inflation and the economy. He's just an idiot. I appreciate that because actually, for a split second, I was questioning what the fuck I was saying. W's in the chat to you. Hey, W, you're in Dallas,
I'm an
buddy.
idiot.
I got you. So What would it
These
take for
people
you?
are so ridiculous. They just talk shit. They don't even know what the hell they're talking about.
You spent
Give me
your
a break, man.
We don't know what
Rage
we're talking
bait.
about. You're absolutely right. We have no idea what we're talking about. There's
I'm
not a
not
single
saying you.
time.
No, you.
There's
I'm
not a
not
single
saying you
time
guys
throughout
are
this entire
unintelligent.
live that we've been
People
able
in-
to actually fact check you on any information you provided.
people
when
in
I
the
asked
chat
you to give
like
me
to
a
talk
piece
shit.
of data, when I asked you to give me some piece of data to show that mass deportation has improved your life in any way, you said I feel like it makes me safer, but you're worried about the chat.
You're disregarding my feelings.
Why are you running?
That's not fair.
Why are you
We
running?
all have feelings.
Wrong button.
Thank you for Kristen. Thank you to Kristen for $15. She says, "I don't know how you remember all these numbers. You must be AI. I can assure you, I am not AI."
I can also assure you that. Thank you so much, Kristen. I appreciate your support. Mass deportation
there's an
hurts you.
unintelligent
Did you
person.
know that? Mass deportation affects your wages. Mass deportations affects our markets. Mass deportations affects our agriculture. Mass deportation affects communities. It's quite literally, in every way, shape, or form, having a negative impact on Americans.
So if that's the case, then where was the complaints under Biden if mass deportation was such a big deal?
Because he did it lawfully.
He did it lawfully.
Oh, did it matter then?
And there was a prioritization,
matter?
again, of the violent criminals versus everyone.
But he deported a lot more people, so I'm assuming that other people got mixed in as well.
Yes, a large
Right?
portion of deportations due to the pandemic under Title 42 and otherwise is
And
separate.
Hector, there was actual protest during the Biden administration, and
There was.
especially during the Obama administration, because the left did not agree. The left Democrats did not agree with the way that they were handling the deportations and didn't agree with the deportations. So there was protest during the Biden administration. But what we've seen during the Trump administration is when there's been protest, it's escalated to violence because of the ICE just can't seem to just not keep their
No, it's
keep
because
their hands off of
Antifa,
U.S. citizens.
that's why.
Do you know what Antifa stands for, you nimwit?
Anti-fascist, when they're creating
Yes,
the
it means
fascist.
anti-fascist. It means
Fascism
when
themselves.
the U.S. troops fought Germany, we wore hats that said anti-fascist or against fascism.
Are you not anti-fascist?
I'm not Antifa.
Are you anti-fascist?
Yes, I'm anti-fascist. I don't believe in fascism. I think it's
So then you're Antifa.
no.
So you're not anti-fascist?
Are you Antifa?
Yes, I am Antifa.
So you're a domestic terrorist. Then.
Nope, I'm anti-fascist.
Are you a domestic terrorist?
Nope, you are. Big W's in the chat to Big Baby for the $20 cash app to clear out the drop pool. Yeah, I'm in Dallas. Get him out of here. W's to you, buddy. W's to you. Thank you so much for your support. I think we need to start calling Trump supporters domestic terrorists. I'm going to keep it $1.50 with you. I think we just need to start calling some Trump supporters domestic terrorists. That's what I think. The people who come up here and say Renee Nicole Good deserved it, Alex Preddy was a gunman, that those dirty undocumented migrants needed to go, the ones who are out here supporting all these different things, you're supporting domestic terrorism, specifically through the form of militarizing ICE, allowing masked gang members with badges to run around and fuck with you and your neighbors. I would argue that's one gross form of domestic terrorism.
I think another form of domestic terrorism is when we have the ICE actually going through with not judicial warrants, but going into immigration courts, that they're actually going through the process and going ahead with the deportation and ripping them from before or after their court hearings. I think that that's probably domestic terrorism too, which we find in the Trump administration and with the ICE agents currently under the DHS protocol.
6,000%. Damn it, Sean. I'm going to look up what this word means. Anencephalic. Damn, hold on. Anencephalic. It's learning time, guys. Let's see. Anencephalic. Let's do pronunciation.
Anencephalic.
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 Anencephalic. Fetus or newborn without the main parts of the brain. I got you now. Sean. A fetus or a newborn without the main parts of the brain, the cerebrum and cerebellum, and the overlying skull or scalp. Got it. I didn't know that was the term. Anencephalic.
Anencephalic.
I didn't know
Anencephalic.
that till now either, Hector. So we
W's
both
in the
learned
chat
something
too.
together. Yeah, W.
We're about learning today. We're about learning today. Guys, I do not know everything. I do not know everything. But every single time I talk to these people, it makes me feel like fucking Einstein. Trump supporters request up in the box. You are the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. If you're not following me, hit that follow button in the top left corner. We are live every Saturday after 3 p.m. CST and randomly throughout the week. Also, share out the live with your friends and family. Make sure you're reposting it and adding to your story. Let's knock out the little divine finger goals here. We have about 46 more of them to go. Please make sure we're taking care of Ford while he's here. We're right at 3,000 coins. I would love to get him up to 4,000 as well. And his links in the bio are going to be the best ways to support him alongside other resources he may have there as well. Links in the bio is going to be the best ways to support the platform, whether you're following me on social media platforms such as Hector Talks, YouTube that we're dual streaming to right now, or Instagram where I post the videos that I post up here. Also join the Discord community. We're over 700 members strong. Get yourself some merch off the merch shop. Make 2 + 2 = 4 again line because these people for some reason think it's 5. Use discount code WEALLWIN. We all win for 10% off your entire order. Or finally, donating directly if you so choose. If you think my head is extra smooth today and you want to compliment me for it, hit up the links in the bio. If you want to support everything we're doing here, hit up the links in the bio. If you want to say thank you, send a message, hit up the links in the bio. Those of you over on the tube side, you may like the stream, please subscribe, turn on notification bells. If you want to support, you may send a super chat, super sticker, or become a member. That being said, let's get back to the chatty catties. Trump supporters, we are looking to speak to you. This live is supposed to be a safe space for you to come up here and express all the reasons why you regret your vote or support for this draconian administration. This is live. This is the place where we will talk to you with minimal judgment. Or if you're a Trump supporter who does not regret your vote, you think he's doing an exceptional job, you think that the you think that real household wages are not outpacing everything else. Is that what you believe? Then you may request up or call in. We will give you several reasons as to why you're wrong. That was stressing me out, Ford. I've never heard some shit like that before in my life. I've never had to explain to somebody more than 3 fucking times how if these things are going up and your wages aren't matching it, you're not doing better. That was ridiculous.
It's the first argument I've ever heard anybody argue the fact that median household income is actually increasing and not using inflation at the same point. Like typically their argument last year was that real wages actually increased 0.7%, which would be correct versus 1.1% in 2024. But now that inflation is actually outpacing median household income, it's no longer true.
6,000%. See, you lose when you have to cuss. Hey, Marty, check this out. Check this out. One, I don't give a shit about language, okay? Language doesn't take away from the information being shared here. Check this out. I'm going to say a true thing with a bunch of cuss words, okay? Fucking Donald Trump was convicted of 34 fucking counts of falsifying business records, fraud, and he was sentenced fucking January 2025 to a fucking unconditional discharge Class E felony. You can worry about the language, doesn't take away from what I'm saying, and the fact that while you're sitting here worried about cuss words, you voted for a fucking rapist. So I don't give a shit about what you think about my language.
And the New York Penal Code was fucking 175.10 and fucking 175.05.
I don't know how you remember all these numbers. Holy shit.
I actually have somebody could tell me something and I don't remember. But as soon as I read or see anything, I have a photogenic memory that's at a genius level.
That is impressive. So, like, I remember certain things. Like, I remember my driver's license number, my debit card numbers, several phone numbers, so on and so forth. But in terms of all those stuff, like, I know the cases I can mention for Trump. I can't name them, like, off the bat, at least not that long. Like, I can remember certain bill numbers. I can remember HR 6459. I can remember S 4361, Langford. I can do that, but once it goes over like 6 numbers, bro, it's a whole different ball game for me.
Yeah, and some people will remember the case number, like the actual like headlines. I won't necessarily remember the headlines, but I'll remember what date it was written. So I'll talk about it, and then I'll go, the article was written by CNN July 31st, 2020, because that sticks out to me more and my brain clicks and it actually remembers that more than it does the actual headline.
Interesting. WU. Marty, get up in the box, buddy. Get up in the box. Thank you so much to Devin for the $2 super chat. Your head really does. I think you meant to say your head really does look exceptionally smooth today. Thank you so much, Devin. I appreciate you. I literally just shaved this morning. I went and got brunch with some friends of mine, or a friend of mine and his partner, and then their friend.
Does look good today. Does look good today. You're looking fresh today.
Appreciate
You're looking
that.
fresh.
Appreciate that. And it was great. I'll tell you what, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'll get a little personal while we're waiting on the Trump supporters. It would never cease to amaze me how much non-political people talk about politics. Or not even politics. It would never cease to amaze me how much non-political people talk about everything going wrong in the world, specifically the United States. To me, funny enough, Emmy, I actually do remember my license plate numbers. I've remembered all my license plate numbers from all of my cars. I can cite them right now. It's weird. But it just seems contradictory. If you're talking about, yeah, this price is going up and taxes are this and this and that, and then you won't go to the polls to vote on ballot measures and initiatives and for people who are running off of, thank you guys, who are running off of the things that are going to lower your prices, that are going to strengthen your healthcare, that is going to enforce security in your communities. So to me, it's like, I don't know. I don't do well speaking to non-political people about issues like that. I'm not going to lie. I have to keep my mouth very shut or I'm just going to tell everyone off because you're complaining about something that you directly control, that you impact. Bet you don't know your SSN? Yes, I do. You'll never find out. Nice try.
God bless you.
That was funny.
Nice try.
They tried, bro. They tried.
W Chaos for the ignition check. WCU, thank you so much for that gift. They got literal Transformers in this shit now. Milk Duddy Smooth. That's hilarious, and I should put it on the t-shirt.
That was crazy. That Transformer thing was crazy.
That was pretty freaking cool. Guys, what did I want to go over with you guys? And Ford, you probably already know about this. Fucking big brain. I was reading an article yesterday on behalf of China. And China and the facilities that they're ramping up their security around their nuclear bases. They're getting more vehicles. They're putting more landing pads. They're fortifying these bases, specifically or in part due to the what's the word I'm looking for? The disagreements that the U.S. has with China surrounding Taiwan. And what I found super interesting about the article, as I'm looking for it right now, is that I remember the Trump administration coming around and saying, yeah, we had great talks. We had great talks with China. It was the best talks. We have all these investments, all these deals, none of which was confirmed by China. I want to point that out. You guys ran with the memes and the videos of the red carpet being rolled out for Donald Trump as if they haven't done that for every single president ever. Although previous presidents, they never bothered to bring out a bunch of, I guess I can't say teenage, adolescent girls. Thought that was interesting. But you guys more focused on that than the fact that tensions are still rising and growing with China. So his attempt to go over there and make it seem like we're doing better doesn't work. It doesn't work in the slightest.
And nope, you just talked me something. I have not read that article.
I got you. I'm about to pull it up right here. And I will show y'all. Hold on. Give me my green screen. Oh, I need to get my thing for my computer. Let me cut this off here. I am going to show y'all this because when I saw it, I was like, oh, this can't be good. And let me be clear, these are due to the actions of this administration. Directly due to the actions of this administration. So, never seen anything like this. Satellite pic shows China's building launch pads near nuclear missile silos. And this is NDTV World. In a remote Chinese desert, a vast military complex is taking shape that some security scholars says appears built to ensure no American first strike on China's nuclear arsenal could reliably knock out Beijing's ability to hit back. China's nuclear missiles can already reach any city in the United States. Now, satellite images reviewed by Reuters show Beijing is building a sprawling web of launch pads, bunkers, and communication nodes near the isolated nuclear silos that hold the Chinese military's longest-range missiles. The images reveal more than 80 pads for possible use by China's expanding fleet of mobile missile launchers and air defense batteries. They also show facilities that may serve electronic warfare, satellite communications, and command operations, according to 3 security analysts who assessed the imagery for Reuters. And here is the imagery right here. I think you guys can see that pretty clearly. They're ramping this up. And this is what we had as of May the 11th. The scale of the construction, which hasn't been previously reported, points to a sweeping expansion of hardened infrastructure designed to protect and operate China's land-based nuclear forces. Taken together, the network signals a significant upgrade in Beijing's efforts to ensure second strike capability, underscoring intensifying nuclear competition with the United States as tensions rise over issues such as Taiwan's sovereignty. Let's give it this one. The ability to protect its desert silos is key to China's stated goal of forging a minimal but credible nuclear deterrent, a policy grounded in the capacity to retaliate if it is struck first. While the People's Liberation Army can fire nuclear weapons from submarines and aircraft, the silo fields in the northwestern Xinjiang region and Gansu province are the core of its nuclear forces. Oh my gosh, here we go again. So it looks like they changed TikTok's terms of service now, because every time I green screen sources, it gives me a flag for unoriginal and reproduced content. So this has to be within the last couple of days, because they just flagged me. So now we can't show Google sources now? What the fuck, man? Literally just did it to me again. And none of the appeals ever get approved. So I don't know. But there it is. I guess I'm just going to have to start reading it off the screen and telling people to go to it themselves. Y'all know me. I'm not going to lie to y'all, but still, it's annoying. One of my favorite things is to put the information in front of people's faces, is to make y'all read it, because people don't read enough. And TikTok goes, no. Whatever, bro.
It's wild. So they're basically telling you can't use somebody else's content, even though you're showing the content and actually giving them credit for the content, but yet you can't just read the article.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Can't do that. Nope, not anymore. And this is literally within the last 3-4 days, because before then, Erica and I run the Fun and Facts show every single Wednesday. Well, now she's on vacation, where we just go over the news. We go over sources, and it was never an issue. And then, bam, I literally don't know how we're going to run that show now. We're going to have to completely restructure everything because of this new stupid flag. Do you have a YouTube live? Yes, we are currently live on the YouTube as well. That's also where we have our call-in number, and that's where you hear the call-in guest. W's in the chat to Nina for the $10 Venmo. Biden didn't do mass deportations. Deportation is a process determined by a judge. He primarily turned away people at the border, and yes, people protested his extension of Title 42. That is correct. The Biden administration did somewhat fight to keep Title 42. They very much did. But no, Biden's 3 million isn't mass deportation. He didn't run off of like sweeping the United States and getting rid of a bunch of people. He just took care of the ones that were internally, with the majority of those deterrents, I believe, being at the southern border, much like the Obama administration. Thank you so much, Nina. Debbie's in the chat to Ren for the 5. Smooth head, wrinkly big brain. Love you. Your favorite expo marketer. Thank you so much. Debbie's in the chat to you. Debbie's in the chat to Kylie for the $2 Venmo. Hot, bald, and smart. Damn. I mean, I agree with 2 of those things. I am definitely bald and smart. Hot. I'm actually pretty cool right now. I need to turn on the heat. I'm just kidding. Debbie's in the chat to you. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. Debbie's in the chat to Wesley for the $5 super chat. Of course, China is ramping up military production. We have an emotional president that he can't be trusted to act with thoughtful consideration. Thank you so much, Wesley, for saying that, because it reminds me. It's kind of like when or Donald Trump compliments himself for increasing the NATO self-defense, but their own defense budget spending from the 2% to the 3%. Now they're moving it on to 5%. They always do this, and they say, see, if it wasn't for Trump, this wouldn't have happened. I'm like, because of these conflicts around the world, that's why they're doing it. It has nothing to do with Trump.
To accept, press.
That is a child. Trump supporters request up in the box. You are the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're an adult and you're over on the tube side, and we call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. But no, the world increasing its defense budget, specifically during Trump's first term, due to the actions of... Hold on.
Call from
Brian.
Brian, you're on the line. Did you vote for Trump?
Hi. Do you think Trump will push the SEC to further regulation of penny trading in the stock market?
No idea. Did you vote for Trump?
Yeah.
And do you regret your vote?
Not yet.
Why is that?
Because, like I said, the stock trading is a big thing to me, and I think he's going to push further regulation of penny trading within the stock market.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, how do you feel about that? I mean, I feel like it's a pretty big topic nowadays.
Who had a bigger increase in the stock market? Who had a bigger increase in the stock market, the Biden administration or the Trump administration?
Someone said there's an echo. Hold on.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
bad.
I think. I'm so sorry. Can you say it one more time?
Yeah, the echo's too bad. I can't hear him.
Let me see.
No,
if I can
is it
fix
better now? Sorry.
It's not you. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix it. It's my thing here. I'm gonna play with some things. Y'all may want to turn down your volume for a moment, because it's gonna mess up. Because it wasn't echoing before the last guy, was it? No, it wasn't echoing for our first caller.
Not at all,
It
bro.
might be me.
Not at all.
No.
I'll call back in. Sorry.
It may be you. Yeah, call back. Call back.
Call from
Caller on the line. Did you vote for Trump?
Sorry, wrong.
Did bro just say wrong number? I just fell out over that.
I'm sorry. You know what? Let's poll this. Is caller on the line, did you vote for Trump too hard of a question? Because then we have A, the people who don't fucking answer it in 2 seconds, and B, the people who do that. Because what do you mean wrong number? You joined the live, you looked at the number on screen, Trump supporters regret your vote, I did my PSA, you called it. Human beings are funny.
Man, I started crying. I was laughing, so tears coming down my face. But he said, wrong number.
Wrong number. Trump supporters request up in the box. You are the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. The call-in number's on YouTube. People don't need it here because you can just request up. The call-in number's on YouTube. It's just for YouTubers. Double tap that screen, guys. We're about to hit 200,000 likes. So double tap the screen, show the algorithm want to be here.
call from
Ty.
Ty, you're on the line. Did you vote for Trump?
I did not. Hey, Hector, hey, are you were you on another young lady's podcast also?
I've never been on a podcast to my knowledge.
Or was it another Shante, I believe?
Erica Shante, yes. She's one of my mutuals.
Okay.
We run a show together.
All right. I was wondering that because I was calling back to finish our conversation, man, because you had hung up and called me a bitch ass nigga and all that. You know.
Oh, did
I? Know how. Yeah, I didn't understand how we as black people talk to each other like that, and I didn't get that.
Can you refresh me on the conversation and what led me to calling you a bitch ass nigga?
Yeah, I actually can. We were talking about. I was asking about the Democrats not delivering reparations for their people, and you got pretty upset about it. And instead of having a decent conversation, you hung up on me. And
Wait
then,
a goddamn minute. Are you the
me.
guy who called into Erica's show
Yes.
and you were frustrated because you said Democrats been playing about reparations for 60 years, but
Yeah.
Donald Trump just got $1.8 billion for January 6th. Are you that guy?
I am that guy.
Yeah. I remember why I called you a bitch ass nigga now.
Yeah.
So here's why I called you a bitch ass nigga, just in case you didn't understand why I did it before. Why I was frustrated during that call, which I didn't hang up on you because it was Erica's live, but I would have, is because those two things are not comparable. One, as far as we know right now, may not even be able to legally give the January 6ers $1.8 billion. Hence why he's trying to currently get it passed in the spending bill or the next spending package, because that's the only way he can legally do so. So far, he's trying to find other ways. Versus the other one, has a much higher threshold or burden of things that you would have to prove, several different commissions, finding out ancestry, so on and so forth. You'd have to have an entire other opposing side of Congress somehow get to agree with it, which is the Republicans. And if we're to look at Democrats and Republicans, the vast majority of Republicans, if not every single Republican in Congress, does not support reparations versus the few on the Democratic side that would. So you trying to compare a criminal president criminally trying to pay criminals from a fund to Democrats legally trying to give the descendants of slave owners financial compensation for the history of the United States of chattel slavery are two drastically different things. And being mad at the Democrats for not violating the law to do so made no sense whatsoever.
Okay. Can I respond back to that?
Sure.
All right. My thing was, and I want to be respectful, man. I don't want to get into all the other stuff, but my point to it is, and I just wanted people to understand, is that okay, he did something like you said, like he had did something borderline illegal as far as trying to push that. And my thing is, I just want, if black people are the foundation of the Democratic Party, then what is wrong with going, like, if you have this man that, you know, he already a millionaire, whatever, and he like, forget it, I'll go all out for my people and try to do that. What's wrong with Democratic voters wanting the same thing from their people? And I anchor that with, when Kamala lost that election, AOC and a bunch of Democrats were on TV the same night and all through the following week saying exactly what I said, saying that, you know, they believe that Kamala's loss was the result of Democrats not following through with promises and Democratic voters feeling abandoned. You know what I mean? So I was just echoing what they already said. I know it was a couple years ago, and you know, maybe they forgot how they felt and the things that they said in the following weeks, but this is what they said. And that was part of the reason that I didn't vote for Kamala, is because I was, like I said, I was sitting there, and one night, like before, I was all about Kamala. I was, you know, this is President Harris, blah, 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 blah. And one night it just hit me, and I said, you know what? People have been voting Democrat for a very long time, and nothing has changed. They're not following through on the things that they talk about in the election, you know, or the things they talk about during their campaign. You know what I mean? It's like they get your vote, they put it in their pocket, and we'll talk to you again next election season.
So many Democrats very much did criticize the party for the loss in terms of the better marketing that could have been done, Joe Biden's failure to drop out earlier to give Kamala Harris a better running chance, the fact that they did not back Kamala Harris much faster and much stronger, because we know internally, due to Kamala Harris's book, which she wrote in 107 days, there was some initial hesitation to run behind her. There's that. Their criticism of those factors doesn't change the fact that they're still unapologetic Democrats. And I don't know what that would have to do with you now blaming Kamala Harris for the actions of the people who did not get behind her in her attempt to save this country.
And not to be disrespectful or none, but the reason I didn't necessarily blame Kamala Harris, but I didn't understand. I overstood the situation that she was in. And I knew it was going to be pretty difficult for her to win because everything was kind of last second. You know what I mean? Like Joe finally being like, you know what, I'm going to step down, blah, blah, blah. And something else that bothered me about the Democratic Party was Barack Obama, when he sat down in a room full of black men and said, you know, I hear that the brothers aren't feeling Kamala Harris, you know, and blamed it on, you know, bigotry and different things of that, instead of taking accountability and saying, hey, we didn't present this to you. It was kind of like that Cosby Show, episode when Vanessa brought the guy home that had proposed to her, and Bill Cosby said, hey, what's your favorite food? He said a steak. He said, imagine if I made it the way you want to, but I presented it on a trash can lid. You know, it was the presentation. That it wasn't bigotry, the reason why she wasn't, you know,
Yes, it
why
was.
people didn't vote for her.
It
was
literally
bigotry and racism.
was.
Hey, can we please give Miss Harris her props? She got 75 million votes, which means it's fourth most votes in history in 109 days.
Literally.
Okay, now look, I'm not dogging her, but what I'm saying is
You did not
she was
vote
put
for
in a
her.
lose situation, and we can't blame the voters.
Yes, we can.
You know what I mean? For
You
her
quite
being placed in a
literally
lose
can.
situation. She had, I believe
My guy.
she
my
had
guy.
less
I
than
spoke
90
to voters.
days to put
I
it
speak
together.
to voters on a daily basis, and since you brought up the criticism Obama gave to black men specifically, let's talk
Yeah.
about black men or the blagger base, who I speak to
But
almost
hey,
on
sir,
a daily
sir,
basis.
right
I'm not-
before we get into that, if I were in that room, I would have asked Mr. Obama, may I ask you a question, sir? What took you so long to come out and endorse her?
What do you mean?
Because you endorsed her
It
at the
was
last
2
second.
weeks
You know him.
afterwards. No, it was 2 weeks afterwards. Him and Michelle Obama literally full-throatedly endorsed Kamala Harris. Then he went on the campaign trail with her.
I remember their endorsement. I remember Michelle saying, "Hey, my girl Kamala," and you know, blah 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 blah. But I remember the space of time between that because the news was saying, when is Obama going to come out and endorse her? There was a space of time, and
2 weeks.
we have to also we
2
have
weeks.
to remember that she didn't have that much time to run.
It was 2 weeks.
It was okay. Even if it was 2 weeks, that's still
It was 6
that's
days.
still
I just looked it up. It was
a
6
nice
days.
amount of time.
July the 21st.
when you're dealing with no time.
July the 21st was when Kamala Harris announced her presidential bid.
Okay.
And you said it was 6 days?
Yes,
I
Obama.
said, no,
so hold
I
on.
don't
hold
know.
on,
Like,
hold
I don't
on.
know the exact time frame. Sir.
Okay, so
I'm
she
not
announced.
trying to get into
she
the
announced.
exact,
I do. If you would stop talking, I do. So on the 21st.
Oh, it was 5 days. Yes.
Yep. So on the 21st,
I thought it was 2 weeks.
Harris actually announced her candidacy. On the 26th, Obama endorsed.
So he endorsed her on the day after she announced her run for president.
5 to 6
Is
days
that what you
later,
said?
he endorsed. 5 to 6 days later.
July 21st, she announced her run. July 26th, he endorsed her.
Okay, because there was a lot of news outlets at that time that were saying the same thing that I'm saying. They were
Yes,
like, "What is
there's a
taking
bunch
Obama
of news
so
networks
long
that
to
ran
endorse her?"
on with, why hasn't Obama endorsed her? All these other people get, why hasn't Obama endorsed her? Maybe he has his reasons, blah, blah, blah. And we saw some internal reports of him actually wanting to run some type of like a mini primary, but then he went ahead and endorsed her. We have no confirmations of the other reports. I don't know
Okay,
how
but
this is
so
a
you
knock
are
to him
familiar
or
with
Kamala
what
Harris.
I'm talking about then.
Yes, I'm familiar with the propaganda that was spread by Fox News and right-wing talking heads.
It wasn't. First of all, I'm not gonna lie. I peek on Fox News, but only to see what they're saying. You know what I
doesn't
mean?
matter
I
if it
watch
comes from
both
Fox News
sides
specifically.
because
Y'all don't be
I
watching
try to
Fox,
stay
but then you'll
independent.
be saying everything Fox News says via Newsmax, Fuentes, and everyone else. So it doesn't really matter. Anyway, what is the point that you're bringing up? Everything Obama said was correct when he criticized black men. I spoke to them on a daily basis. Black men who came up on this platform and said, Kamala Harris isn't black. I can't vote for her because she's not even a black woman. Then they said, oh, maybe Kamala Harris is black, but I can't vote for her because she's with a white guy. Then they said, Kamala Harris locked up a bunch of black men in California for the MJ. That was a bold-faced bullshit lie. Then they said she withheld evidence from Kevin Cooper to stop him from being released, despite the fact that nigga was guilty as hell. And then they were literally defending a man who, beat up and raped a young girl a couple days prior, breaking out of prison before the 5 people unaliving where the 1 kid survived. Then they talked about Jamal Cooper. She locked up Jamal Cooper. He was an innocent man who got freed and won $13 million from the city. She wasn't even the head prosecutor. That was Linda Allen. Then they said that she slept her way into 5 elected positions. Then they said that she had a word salad hair. She had some mess ups and she couldn't get any policies done, and the average nigga can't tell me one policy. All of that was bullshit. So when Donald Trump spoke to black men specifically about the bullshit that they were spreading about their own community
Obama.
member, Obama, their own community
Yeah,
member,
it's all good.
that's exactly who he spoke to. As a black man, he manned up and spoke to his demographic on them getting their shit together. It was a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Honorable thing that he did. Because black men hold other men accountable when they're full of shit.
Okay, so I guess my question would be, the same black man that he, for lack of better words, demonized, are they going to be needing those black men's vote in the upcoming election?
What do
Or
mean
you
by
guys just go
demonize?
ahead
You say
and rope them
demonize.
off?
How did he demonize them?
I mean, when you say that bigotry and sexism, or what do they call it, misogynistic, that was the word that he used. More than bigotry, he used misogynistic.
Okay.
Pretty much that, you know, they're not going to vote for her because she's a woman. And me being and at the time that these things were going on, I was still in Kamala. I was still pro Kamala. I was still saying, hey, we're going to have President Harris. And
what do you mean you
How
were
is
pro
that
Kamala and then
demonizing?
you didn't vote?
yeah, I because I didn't vote because of the you know, and you know, we can all agree to disagree. That's fine. But I seen the debate she did with Trump. I guess I seen it with different eyes than the whole world, because even Trump supporters thought that Kamala won that debate.
Yeah, let's go ahead and play what Obama said about black men, or at least one of the clips.
Please.
Speak some truths, if you don't mind.
God bless you.
Thank you, Dr.
Because
Keisha.
My understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that
The brothers
we
are
have
not feeling
yet seen
Zip it.
the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly and say that when you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes from those experiences, who's had to work harder and do more and overcome and achieves the second highest office in the land, and is putting forward concrete proposals to directly address the things that are vital in our neighborhoods and our communities, from housing to making sure that our mothers and our fathers and our grandparents can afford medicine.
2 more minutes.
And making sure that we are dealing with prices that are too high and rents that are too high, and are committed to, is committed to making sure that we maintain the Affordable Care Act, so everybody's got help it, and cares about things like education and entrepreneurship in our neighborhoods. And that's on one side. And on the other side, you have someone who has consistently shown disregard, not just for the communities, but for you as a person. And you're thinking about sitting out? But, you know, because of Pookie might be. And you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses. I've got a problem with that. because part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly now, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is, putting women down. That's not acceptable. That's not, this shouldn't even be a question.
First and foremost, fucking W. Obama. Secondly, caller, what did he say that was wrong?
All right, let me rephrase this. Let me say that had that been Trump saying that to black men, we would have went off the rails like, oh, this man is trying to tell us that we can't decipher or we can't make up our minds without it being something extra.
That's because white people like me have no place in telling black people how to feel.
Are you criticizing a black man? My co-host. Are you criticizing a black man for speaking directly to black men?
No, I'm criticizing what he said.
What is wrong with what he said?
What he said.
I need you to articulate what was wrong with what he said. Also, guys, please help me push through this stupid flag. I would greatly appreciate if we get the likes up to 350,000 within the next couple of minutes. Don't forget to take care of Ford while he's here with gifts, and also his links are in the bio. You guys already know how to support me. Knock out the little journey goals, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Join the Discord. Get yourself some merch off the merch shop. Use discount code WeAllWin for 10% off. Follow me on all the social media platforms at Hector Talks with 2 R's, YouTube, Super Chat, Super Sticker, membership. Hit the like button on the streams. Okay, I need you to articulate what was wrong about what he said.
Well, it was pretty much. I didn't like it because it seemed that he was saying like we can't make up like in order either we vote for Kamala or we're misogynistic. There's no other, or we're either misogynistic or bigoted if we don't vote for her.
No.
So
two things.
That's how I took it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Listening to it, that's how I took it.
Number
I'm like,
one.
no, that's not it.
Number one, have you ever heard the saying, if it don't apply, let it fly?
Yeah.
Great. Secondly, the segment where he talked about misogyny specifically, or misogynoir, and the idea of black men not voting for her because she's a woman or they can't see a woman in power was actually a segue. He said, I can't help but think, and I'm speaking specifically to the brothers here, that this could be one of the reasons. That was only an aspect or a segment of his overall speaking on black men's hesitation, some black men's hesitation for voting for Kamala Harris. It wasn't all about misogyny. He just veered off specifically on the misogynoir issue.
I get what you're saying, but I didn't like the fact that he even said it, because that's like Joe Biden said, hey, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
No, that's not the same goddamn thing. No, those are not the same goddamn thing. Joe Biden is a white man who ain't got no business telling anybody what they are or not because of the being a white man, for one, and two, because of how they vote. Although I would argue, you know what? I'm not even going to go down that road. Not to mention, that always misconstrued. It's common on the Breakfast Club, whenever they end the show, they say, you're not black if this, you're not black if that. Joe Biden just took upon himself to actually say that shit, and he had no business doing so. In fact, he immediately came out and said, yeah, that was bad. I apologize. But we're not talking about Joe Biden. We're talking about Barack Obama. Barack Obama, a black man, speaking to black men, has every right to call us out on the behaviors that were detrimental to us long term, or specifically the actions that led to Kamala Harris's loss in the 2024 election.
I mean, like I said,
the reason why you didn't like, no, the reason why you don't like what he said, The reason why you don't like what he said is because that's exactly how you feel. You didn't like being called out. You didn't like being told about yourself. If you weren't struggling with
That's weird
misogyny,
because
if
I
you did
voted for
value
Hillary.
Kamala Harris,
That's weird that you say that.
oh, so now you
very
just
weird
have a
that you say
specific
that.
aversion to black
I
women.
voted for Hillary.
So you have a aversion to black women. That's worse, my guy.
Oh, so now maybe it's just that particular one.
What is
You
your
know
issue?
what I mean? Like maybe
okay,
it's that.
so let's
maybe
talk
it's that
about it. Let's talk
particular
about
one.
it. What is your issue with
Like
that
I would have
particular
voted for
one?
Michelle.
What is
I
your
would've
issue
even
with
voted
that
for
particular
Michelle
one?
had she
Okay,
ran.
no problem. What is your issue with that particular one?
My thing, and you know, I get that you're gonna twist it all around or whatever to fit your narrative.
I'm asking you to
but
twist the
my
goddamn
issue,
thing. The whole reason why I'm asking questions is
issue-
to
hold
get
on.
clarification
My issue
on
with-
your positions.
Okay, my issue with her was that, and we blame the voters again, but her voice wasn't as loud as Donald Trump's voice. She didn't get the airtime that Donald Trump got. Therefore, she didn't get, in my opinion, she didn't get to push the policies that he let people know more what he was going to do. I didn't know that much about Kamala and that's why I was upset. And I said, damn, how did you lose a vote? I was going to vote for you. How did you lose a vote? Now, and when you say that I have a problem with black women being president or whatever, no, that's not it. When I voted for Hillary, I voted for Hillary for one reason. For one reason. She had one thing that I stood on, and that was the Roe versus Wade thing. That she championed that. You know, she's on the wall in Italy, in doctors' offices in Italy, about her stance on that. So it's just not if you don't vote for Kamala or you don't like Kamala, you don't like black women or you don't like women. It's not all that.
So let me get this straight.
Yeah.
You voted for Hillary Clinton because of Roe v. Wade. And then Kamala Harris, who ran off of enshrining women's rights or continue to uphold and protect women's rights on the federal level and signing it into law, that didn't matter to you.
I didn't hear about that. Like I said, her voice was not as loud as now. Do you
voice was
believe that
very
she got
loud.
the same airtime that Donald Trump got? Do you believe that her voice
Airtime?
was as loud?
No, she could not have for several reasons. Number one, Donald Trump had a 2-year head start. He's been campaigning, really and truly, he's been campaigning since January 6, 2021. But I would just say specifically from
I totally agree
2022
with that.
onward, he had a 2-year head start to campaign versus her 107 days. Secondly, because she was also the sitting vice president, she had vice presidential duties. She had to support Joe Biden. She would have not had the time and the means to go around talking to anybody and everybody the way Donald Trump would have. Lastly, there were several podcasts and several
we're on the
interviews
same
that she
side
did,
again.
some of which actually straight up turned her down. We know about the mix up with the Joe Rogan show. Joe Rogan came out here lying, said we tried to get her on the show, blah, blah, blah. When in her book she wrote, and then it was unconfirmed by the Joe Rogan's team that there was a scheduling issue. And then the one date she presented, they said yes and then changed the fucking date last minute. So these are all the reasons and more as to why she would not have had as much air time. Doesn't change the fact that she did have air time. And if you watch any of her rallies, if you read her platform, 82-page document, A New Way Forward for the Middle Class, you would know her policies. So this sounds like a you issue.
Let me give you a little bit of, hey, I'm just a simple 9-to-5 worker, bro. I work overtime. I don't have the time to look into every policy and blah, blah. Like, I think that speaks for more than half of America. We don't have that time. We have to pay bills, you know? And once again, so we're blaming the voter.
Nigga, you got time to sit up here and argue with me. You got time to go sit up and argue with Erica back and forth. I find it super crazy. I find it crazy what you niggas don't have time for. You got time for your PS5, you got time for this, you got time for that, you got time to go back and forth with me. But you don't have time to look up her policies. In the airtime of this conversation, you could have went back and listened to her rallies, where the same things in the document that I read would have been up on the rallies.
And then it becomes hostile when we can't agree.
You're saying that Kamala Harris did not speak on her policies when she did, because I can tell you her policies, not just from what I read, but from what she spoke on the campaign trail and in the podcasts and interviews that I saw. You did not
All right,
see
sir.
them.
May I ask
That is
you?
a you
May I
problem.
ask you what you do for a living?
I do this, literally, content creation.
Okay,
I'm a
so
political
so we
commentator.
have somebody that studies politics and follows politics, and we mad for the average person that
Hold on.
don't
No,
follow,
no,
that
no,
does
no,
not.
no. I do not
that don't
demonize.
got the time
I
that
do
you
not.
got. If
I
it was
do
my
not.
job, I would know
I
all these
do
things
not
too.
know. First off, I just started
Yes, I
doing
would.
this full time last couple of months. Secondly, I do not demonize people who don't know every aspect of her policies or every bit of her campaign. I understand the average American may not have the time, the means, or the energy, which is really, it's about energy or whatever, to go into all of these different things. But it was an election. It was one of the most important elections of our lifetime. And if you were so curious
Everyone
about
is.
her,
Every single election
if
is.
you were
They
so,
say that every year.
now more than ever, it absolutely
They
is.
say that
There's-
in the next
hold
one,
on, no,
in
no.
2028, they're going to
There's-
say it again.
There's against JD Vance, absolutely. There's rhetoric, and then there's comparing candidate to candidate and the destruction that they're going to cause once they get into the Oval Office. The point that I'm making is, you say it's so important to you. You say that you were so curious. I wanted to know this. I wanted to know that. And you just expected this information to be dropped into your lap.
Let's argue the fact that I work 65 hours a week as an innovation technology designer for a
That's
major
cool.
company. And
That's cool. I
I'm
work
probably
12 days a
I'm
week,
probably-
7 days
hold
a week.
on. Can you not let anybody
Or
just speak?
7 days a week, 12
And I'm-
hours.
and
Go ahead.
I work 6 days a week, and I am probably I would probably say one of the most informed people that when it comes to politics, and when it comes to Bureau of Labor statistics, and when it comes to people's ideas and policies that they want to put in place, than all of TikTok. I also
The
run
only
an
thing
X
that I
account.
knew
I also
from
run
Kamala-
an X account. I also run an X account with about 116,000 followers, but because people come to me for my political advice, my political knowledge. I also have a master's degree in political science that I obtained from the University of Iowa. I cannot help that you could not take 5 minutes out of your time to go to Kamala Harris /issues.com and read her policies.
Okay. All right. Hey, who is this gentleman that I'm speaking with also? So I can address him by name also.
This is Ford News. You can call him Ford.
All
Ford,
right,
do you have a
Hey, Ford,
do you have a YouTube
Ford, please, hey, I understand your passion, but if you take a breath, I can hear the frustration in your voice. I get it because I
I
was
talk like
frustrated
this
at
all
one
the time.
point too.
This is how he
But take a
sounds.
breath, man.
This is literally
This
how
is
he
how I
sounds.
sound, bro. I talk really fast.
You-
It's just how I am.
Oh,
If
okay.
you want
All
me
right.
to
My
talk
bad, then.
slow
My bad.
for you, I
But-
can.
But my thing is, the one thing that I did know about Kamala or her policy that she was bringing up was because you guys did say I knew nothing, and I was like, I was leaning her way, even in the dark when I didn't know nothing. I was leaning her way. You know, so this is like a slap in the face. Because understand, I give it to Trump supporters too. Like right after I get off the phone with you, I call up the Trump people, man, and I get on their ass. You know, so I'm an independent voter. You know what I mean? And
What made you go from leaning her way to not voting?
or trying to make fun of people that may not know as much about politics as you do.
No one is trying to demonize or make fun of you. We are pointing out your contradictions. That's what we're doing. First, you said, because, again, correct me if I'm wrong. You said you were leaning towards Kamala Harris, but because a black man called out black men for their misogyny and other things, that made you not vote for the black woman. Is that correct?
No. That is not you.
Okay, that's why I asked the question. That's why I asked the question.
I said. Oh, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
So what made you go from leaning her way to sitting your ass on the couch November 4th?
Because when I was sitting my ass on the couch after I got home from work, I replayed the debate because I couldn't watch the debate. I was at work. And when I replayed the debate, like I said, I must have seen it with other eyes than the rest of everybody. Because I said, what the hell? I said, get him. She sat there. And I mean, like I said, even Trump supporters say, hey, yeah, he should never debate her again. She got him. I didn't know that she won until I went on the internet. The reason I thought that he won that debate was because he spoke for 45 minutes and she spoke for 15. Once again,
I'm sorry.
He's out. His voice is louder than hers again, and we can't blame anybody but the actual politicians. Instead of us as voters turning on each other,
my guy,
let's put the blame where it goes.
My guy.
You know, I think she spoke for 15 minutes out of the hour. He had 45 minutes of talk time.
My guy.
You see what I'm saying?
They had equal time to talk in the debate. What are you talking about?
He kept cutting her off. There's no way she talked even close to as long as
the president has no decorum whatsoever to allow people to finish, and he showed his ass.
The actual statistics is Donald Trump spoke
and that's
for
true. So once again, like you're saying what I said, what I'm saying, just in different words.
Hey, the actual statistic was Donald Trump spoke for 43 minutes. Harris spoke for 37.5 minutes. That's the actual statistic, and that's what I do. I do statistics. So it wasn't 47 to 15. It was 45 to 37.5.
I strongly feel like it felt like it, man, because he was just rambling on and on and on. And I thought, I said, well, maybe her plan is to sit back and be quiet and just show people how crazy this man is. Maybe that's it. Because I was just watching her just sit there and just let him go.
Do you understand that they have turns? They have turns to speak. And because Donald Trump chose to keep interrupting her during her turn, doesn't mean that she was just backing off or cowering down or anything else. It shows that she has more decorum. Exactly what we want out of a presidential candidate. Exactly what we want out of a leader. You are now saying because of this decorum, because she had 6 minutes less of talking time due to not rambling on, that was something. Actually, no, this doesn't matter. You said you watched the debate and you felt like Kamala Harris won. You said
so. What's
you heard people.
I felt like she lost.
Can he tell us 5 policies that Harris had?
Yes, but 1 second. W's in the chat to Ali for the
$10
super chat. Hold on. W's in the chat to Ali Katz for the $10 super chat. Thanks for confronting these losers, Hector. They deflect at any chance. I appreciate you calling them out. Cheers, dude. I guess this was for the last guest. Thank you so much, Ali, for your support. I do my best. And I'm trying not to crash out right now. I do my best, Ali. Thank you so much, WCU, for your support. Really quickly, thank you guys for getting the likes.
It's that hard not to crash out with somebody that's not.
Can you just
can you versed in politics as you?
Hey,
like we get.
You know what else? You know what else is rude? You know what else is rude? Me literally saying "hold on," doing my PSA, and you couldn't let me finish it. Can you let me finish my PSA, please? I wasn't speaking to you, and I haven't crashed down on you. So can you let me finish my PSA, please? Thanks. I would greatly appreciate if you guys continue to double tap that screen. There's 636 of you in here.
They some rude motherfuckers. That's why they can't get no votes. Straight up, man. But anyway, your co-host or whatever asked me about what I know about Kamala. Only thing I knew about Kamala was when she was talking about housing for new families. And I didn't understand that policy. I guess it should have been on me to go research that, to take time out of my day and, away from whatever it is that I have to do to go research that.
Do you know that the Harris website actually had it broken down into one paragraph? So like what you're talking about is the first home buyers, which was basically a $25,000 down for first time home buyers. They could prove that they were in this rental property for 2 years. It was never laid on any type of rent. And another is that they were a first time home buyer. It was literally one paragraph.
Okay.
One. So, and you're talking about like the medical, like not allowing medical bills to be on your debt for debt collectors and not to be allowed to count against your credit score. That was another paragraph. Like literally it broke it down in simple terms and then got into detail with it if you expanded it. But the premise of her actual policies were very short and very easy to understand. And literally I went when I hosted my own panels or my own lives, we literally went detail to detail on every single one of the policies one night within like 45 minutes of just going through it, and then we expanded out. My thing with you, sir, is that when you're trying to make an informed decision, and I understand that people work a lot of hours, but when you're trying to make an informed decision on voting, whether if you think that it's the most like this election is the most, that you have to vote on, then even if you just want to vote, you have to be informed, and you have to take that time to actually inform yourself. Otherwise, what you're going to have is you're going to have exactly what you got now. And you have unemployment escalating. You have CPI inflation escalating. You have geopolitical policies that are dividing the U.S. versus our allies in NATO or our allies in the United Nations. You have the Iran WAR that is actually increasing inflation and increasing gas prices. If you don't inform yourself, because you would have known that, one, Harris was against any type of conflict with Iran unless they boom somebody. You would understand that she was specifically against blanket tariffs or any type of tariffs. You would understand that according to the Institute of Technology, our taxation and economic policies, you would understand that she actually had a tax decrease for the middle class income families, and a tax decrease for the middle income families.
I also understand that she stood on the stage and she said the exact same thing that every other one said. I fully support Israel. I understand that she stood on the stage and said that also.
No, that's not what she said.
She did say that.
Nope.
Now, come on now. We gotta be truthful now.
You're lying. What she stated was that she was okay with Israel.
Come on, man.
She was okay with Israel's right to defend itself. She also supported a two-state solution,
and that she fully supports Israel. She said that, and this was before. The conflict got crazily out of hand.
And the right to defend themselves. And she supported a two-state solution, and she supported a ceasefire. Biden administration, with her as the vice president, was the only administration in recent past that actually withheld military equipment and funds to Israel until the Senate GOP actually made them release it.
Yeah, now, what they held was offensive weapons. They still provided them with the Iron Dome and the ammunition for the Iron Dome. They did do that.
What? The Iron Dome? What?
The Iron Dome, the protection for Israel and their the protection against their them being attacked with missiles. The Iron Dome. Were you not familiar with that?
We've always funded Israel's defense. I mean, that's better than offense.
It's not like she cut off all funding to Israel. They
blocked
kept giving
some offensive weapons, including those 2,000-pound, 2,000-ton bombs.
That's correct.
Yeah. Now she did whatever with the offensive weapons. Yeah, but she still provided them defensive.
Also, hold on. You say provide. Friendly reminder: she is the vice president. That would have been Joe Biden.
Well, under Biden's leadership and her as the second hand, it was still. All I'm asking is for everybody to call out what's from both sides. Like, my question is, what's the Democrats? What is their goal if they come back into power? Is it just to say, hey, we beat the Republicans and we stuck it to the Republicans? Because if that's it, then that bar is way too low.
So here's what keeps happening. Here's what happens when Donald Trump takes the Oval Office and the Democrats come back. We end up having to spend quite a bit of time undoing the damage that the Trump administration has caused. And sometimes it can be harder to move on to the more progressive pieces of legislation that we want, on top of the establishment Democrats. Regardless, I'm not getting into this conversation with you because we're still on Harris. You're not making this a broad Democratic issue. That is a separate conversation. Okay?
The last time me and Hector
your
spoke,
contention.
The last time me and Hector spoke, Hector asked me, and he was upset. He asked me. He said, "When did we have the presidency?
Was I not talking?
And the Senate?" He asked me that.
I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna finish.
And wasn't that at the beginning of Biden?
I'm going to finish my sentence now.
Oh, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
You have all this smoke for Kamala Harris because you said you didn't know her policies, you didn't feel like she was speaking up, yada, yada, yada. But according to you, the best you had leaning towards her was due to the fact that she won the debate, and the only thing you didn't like was the actions of Obama calling out black men for their misogynoir and hesitations towards voting for her. You still have
none
yet
of
to
those things.
substantiate.
You just twisted everything I said. I did not say that.
Did you not say you had a
problem?
That's not,
I
never
never
said anything about vote.
I
never said anything about vote. Hey! I never said anything about vote. Listen to the words coming out of my mouth.
Hey, I mean, come on, man.
Listen to the words coming out of my fucking mouth. Listen to the words. I brought up the 2 points of contention that you had. I never associated with voting. I never associated with voting. I brought up the 2 points of contention that you had. What I am trying to get you to say, because you keep dancing around it, is what made you ultimately not vote for Kamala Harris. Give me the thing. That's what I need you to do. 107 days you had to go to the polls. What was the thing that made you ultimately go, I'm done?
I told you, because her voice, in my opinion, and maybe it's just my state, but she didn't get the airtime that Trump had. Therefore, I didn't feel that she didn't.
But you were leaning towards her already.
I didn't get to hear
so
her
you're
policies
complaining about
as much as
airtime.
maybe everybody else.
You're complaining about airtime, but you were leaning towards her already. How does that make any sense?
And then I lost. Okay. I'm glad. All right, yeah. So it wasn't her. It wasn't her in particular, but she got the blunt of it, because I sat there one night and I said, wait a minute. The Democrats keep and this was my thought. I remember that night. I sat there and I said, wait a minute. The Democrats keep promising this, and we had 8 years of Obama, 8 years of Clinton, 4 years of Biden, and they're not delivering. That was my issue. And I said, well, I'm done just handing out my vote. I'm done just handing it. Like they should try to earn these votes. And after that election, AOC comes on TV and she starts communicating with people, and she's echoing my exact words.
AOC,
so I guess me and AOC both
you're
wrong.
Literally repeating yourself. AOC supported and endorsed Kamala Harris.
Yes,
AOC was calling out the Democratic Party all throughout Kamala Harris's 107-day run for, in part, not more supporting her. What does any of that have to do with Kamala Harris? Every single time, I try to get you to narrow down what stopped you from voting for Harris. You always that Harris not having as much support, or Harris not having the same screen time as Donald Trump, or Harris not being able to spoon feed you all of her policies that was available on the internet for the majority of the time, or make you watch her rallies, has nothing to do with her competence.
I sat there and I realized that the Democrats make promises and they do not follow through. Did you not hear that part?
What promise did Biden not follow through with?
And then you add it with that.
What promise did Biden not follow through with?
Take the first two things you said and add it with what I just said. That's why I didn't vote for. That's three reasons right there.
What promise did Biden not promise did Biden go back on? Because you want to talk about Democrats, so let's talk about the administration that she was under.
Does anybody else remember AOC, Jasmine Crockett, and a bunch of other
Fuck did I just say?
Sitting here saying
my guy, you said
they abandoned their voters and that they believed that was that this was the backlash.
If you continue to speak over me and not answer my questions and repeat the same shit we've already addressed, I am going to start muting you. I need you to answer my question. You said, ultimately, Democrats kept failing you and walking back on their promises, so that's why you didn't support Kamala Harris, because you believed, solely based off the fact that she was a Democrat, she would have continued the same path. So let's look at the previous administration, the one that she was the vice president under. What did Joe Biden and Kamala Harris fail on that they campaigned off of in 2020 that made you continue to support that ideology?
I feel they get the black vote and they don't take care of black people. I feel like they're just granted the black vote.
How did they fail black people?
That's how I feel. I feel that no matter what excuses we can come up with as far as the reparations thing goes, no matter what excuses we can come up with, if it was at the top of their priority list, it would have been done already.
No, it wouldn't have.
Just like the things they did for the LGBT community.
No, it wouldn't
that
have.
was at the top of their priority list.
There is nothing. There it is.
Okay.
There is absolutely nothing or no way that they could have done anything for the LGBTQ community more than black people. That is a ridiculous talking point. But I can take a wild guess as to how you feel about them, as if LGBTQ people aren't fucking black too. But I digress. So give me a specific on what they failed on when it comes to black people.
LGBT is, I don't want to get into that.
Give me a specific on what they failed on with black people.
Well, when you go into a black community, look around. I don't know the last time you've been to one, but look around. And you tell me where they failed.
The administration actually had record low black unemployment.
Black unemployment and blah,
Just
blah, blah. I'm
answer the
talking
question.
about the actual living. I'm talking about
I just asked you a specific question. I just want you to answer it. So now let's have a civilized conversation here with this.
Because I go to black communities. I don't know if y'all still be a part of black communities, but I go to black communities and I see what they look like.
Nigga, I'm in
They look the same as they did when I was a little kid, bro. They look the same. And here I am, 40-something years old. It's the same thing. These streets are tore up. These people are not striving. They're not striving.
Thriving.
My bad. Thriving. My bad. Thriving.
So
but
let's
yeah,
just talk about
that's
what the
what I
administration.
see.
Hold on. Let's
And-
talk about the Biden. Stop talking.
And
for
where's
a
the
moment.
funding? Where's the funding?
So we can talk about what the Biden administration did. For one, they had record black unemployment. For one, they had the most small businesses opened within the black communities at 9.6 million. They had $17 billion to HBCU, right? They cut child poverty in half by half. They cut child starvation predominantly in the black communities down 25%. Let's talk about Obama, who had ACA, who actually gave insurance to predominantly, historically, at a higher percentage than any presidency to the black communities. Let's talk about that. He had a higher education rate within the black communities. He had more graduation. He had a higher graduation rate within the black communities. So when you're talking about the Democratic Party, over the past, since 1964, 1965, when there was 158 Democrats that actually voted for the civil rights versus 136 Republicans, when you have that, every piece of policy or legislation that's been progressive within the black community or any community, it's always been the Democratic Party. In fact, out of the last 52 million jobs that's created, 49 million of those are actually within the Democratic Party or Democratic president. We also have that 73% of all GDP in the United States was within Democratic cities. That is actually predominantly within the black communities. Now, when you're talking about Republicans, give me something that the Republicans have done that outshadows what I just gave you that are facts within the black community that the Democrats have done, that the Republicans have done for the black community.
I guess my problem with that is I don't look for the Republicans to help black people because we don't
But
give
you
them
do
our
the
vote.
Democrats.
I expect more out of Democrats.
You don't
My
look
bad.
for
I expect
Republicans to
more
fix
out of
anything,
Democrats.
and then you ignore what Democrats do for the community. To add on to everything that
But-
Ford
but-
was
but
saying, record loans were given out to black and brown businesses specifically under the Biden-Harris administration that contributed to that lower unemployment rate and some of the startups
Now,
that we're talking about.
Is
We're
this the same Democratic Party
talking about
that's
maternal
asking-
mortality.
Is this the same Democratic Party that's
I
asking
just started
young
fucking
black
talking.
athletes?
Shut the fuck up! Shut up! Shut up when I'm fucking talking. All you fucking do is overtalk me. I literally just started. Shut up. As I was saying,
Hey man,
we can also talk about
conversation.
Fuck you, nigga. Fuck you, stupid ass nigga. Fuck your stupid ass. Yeah, hang up the phone, bitch ass nigga. Hang up the phone, bitch ass nigga. Do it. Do it right now.
Yep.
Come on. Hang up the phone,
I
bitch ass
sure
nigga.
is.
All you
Goodbye.
do is ramble. Ramble and cry. Get your bitch ass out of here. That's all you fucking got. Democrat this, Democrat that. I want them to save us. I want them to save us. You don't know shit about Kamala Harris. You don't know shit about Democratic's record with black people. There's a fucking reason why 80-something% of us vote Democrat. You think it's because we like them niggas? It's because they're the ones who maintain what we have. They're the only ones striving for our progression. They're the only ones. Oh, you got this energy for Kamala Harris because of a black man calling your stupid ass out for your misogyny and your fucking homophobia and your fucking transphobia because I caught that shit you was trying to say with the LGBTQIA too. You stupid niggas need to sit.
It's just like me. Like, I understand that there's Democrats and there's liberals that are actually racist because of bias and because of inherently being racist. But the thing is what I vote for is the reduction of harm within the black communities, within marginalized communities, and within women. I understand that Democrats are problematic, but I understand that the problematic and reducing that harm is within the Democratic Party.
W's in the chat to. I apologize, y'all. I'm sorry. W's in chat to Wesley for the $2 super chat. Tell the guest I said. Who is this? Hold on.
Call from
John.
John, hold on for a moment while I do some thank yous, please. W's in chat to Wesley for the $2 super chat. Tell the guest I said shut up and quit crying. Yeah, he really needed to. W's in chat to Phoenix for the $2 super chat. Can't argue with stupid. I guess you can't, and I'm wasting my goddamn time. W's in chat to Phoenix for the $5 super chat. Fucking preach. Thank you so much. W's in chat to Wesley for the $2 super chat. Killing him with words. Much love. I do my fucking best. W's in the chat to Alley Cats for the $10 super chat. Here. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm frustrated. I have some more over here. W's in the chat to Emily for the $2 super chat. Venmo. This caller's so fucking fragile. Try therapy, perhaps? Okay, thanks. You need something. I need therapy at this point. W's in the chat to Carmela for the $5 PayPal. Caller could have read Kamala's website in less times and watching the debate. That part. He's 100% what you called him last time. Yeah, I stood on what I said. W's in the chat to Angie for the $3 Venmo. Ask this turnip if he supports Bill Cosby. He used the show as an example. Yeah, I heard that. I kind of ignored it. W's in the chat to, I'm just going to say your initials, MS. Thank you so much, MS, for your purchase. The Make 2 + 2 = 4 again pullover hoodie on the website. And you did use the discount code We All Win, WCU. Thank you so much for your support. Guys, I have several different lines of merchandise that you can pull from on the website, hectorshops.com with two R's. If you use the discount code We All Win, you may get 10% off your entire order. And I'm going to take this moment to specifically promo one of those shirts. It's okay to call people stupid. Go buy that one, get 10% off, because, oh my God, stupid people are running rampant in this country. And they whine and they cry and they victimize them damn selves. Didn't take an ounce of time to go and look into a policy, but you got ample amounts of time to bug me, to bug Erica, and to bug every other fucking black creator on this app about all your discrepancies. That at this point in time, in 2026, every single hiccup that you had about Harris and Democrats should have been clarified. But you got time to call in again and again. I'm sorry.
And
what?
thank you, Miss James, for the $10. She says, "Where in the hell did you come from?" I've been around TikTok for quite a while. First time on Hector's panel, I believe. The first time up on his panel. I'm normally in the comments, but I do go on and debate MAGA quite frequently.
Yes, he does. Guys, please make sure you're following Ford News. I've known him for some time. Fantastic creator. And Ford, you're welcome up here at any time, man. All right, caller. Did you vote for Trump?
God bless you.
Thank you, Kristen, for the gifts. Caller, you're on the line. Did you vote for Trump?
Hello?
Caller,
You're welcome up here.
did you vote for Trump?
Yes.
And do you regret your vote?
No.
Why is that?
I mean, I just listened to the last caller, and I completely understand why he's been put down and felt left out by the Democrat Party.
Are you a black man?
Because, am I a black man?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. No.
Oh. So can you articulate to me how you can understand from a black perspective why he feels left out by the Democratic Party?
Well, you know, like you said, what has the Democrats done for the blacks in terms of
For the what?
encouraging
Hey,
them?
I'm not a
to
color,
get
I'm a person.
out
Black
of
person,
poverty?
black
You know,
people.
black
Don't
people
call
make
us
a- I
fucking
mean,
blacks.
the political, like Kamala, you know, the
Kamala
Democrat Party
Harris.
promises, you vote for us, we're going to
That's
make
strike
sure
two. You
have,
don't know how to address
you know,
black people,
your-
and you don't know how to pronounce our names. Keep going. Keep going, white man. Tell us more about
We're
how
gonna make
Democrats have
sure
failed the
that,
black
you know,
community. Come on, spit it
You've
out.
got your food stamps. We're going to make sure that you have your housing allowance. We're going to
The
make sure
majority
that
of
you
individuals who
provide
benefit from
healthcare.
food stamps
We're gonna
are
make
going
sure
to be
that all
white
these
people.
things are provided for you.
The majority of people who
But-
are recipients of SNAP are
But
white.
what happens?
So what are you
Nothing.
talking about? You reducing
The Democrat
black
Party-
food or black housing to HUD and SNAP as if the majority of us are not on those programs is fucking crazy. What the fuck are you
But guess
talking
what?
about?
That's all you hear.
Keeping up
Democrats
HUD, keeping up with SNAP, which is literally the poorest of the poor Americans in the United States, does not exclusively benefit black people. That's for all Americans, you fucktwad. I'm so sorry that you think that the only black people in the United States are predominantly benefiting from those programs. You'd be statistically incorrect. That would be your pale ass, sir. Your demographic. So go ahead. Tell me what the Republicans have done for black people. You don't get to speak on Democrats anymore. Tell me what the Republicans have done for black people. Go ahead.
What have the Republicans done?
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you what the Republicans won't do. They won't take
I don't
away
give
your
a
food
shit about what you. I don't give a fuck about won't do. Tell me what they'll do.
Your free government.
Tell me what the Republicans won't do. Shut up.
Racism.
Tell me what the Republicans do for black people.
So here you go. You have the Democrats.
Tell me what a Republican does for black people. Spit it out.
What does the Republican do? They encourage everyone, not just black people, to get.
My guy, no. You wanted to talk about You wanted to talk about black people. You wanted to talk about black people. You wanted to talk about black people. I don't want to hear this all lives matter shit. You wanted to talk about black people. Let's keep it on it. Shut up. You wanted to talk about black people. Let's keep it black. You opened up this door. You opened up this can of worms. Tell me what the Republicans do for black people. Go ahead. Do it now.
The Republicans are not going to take away food stamps. They're not going to take away welfare.
Democrats don't take away any of those things. What the fuck are you talking about? Democrats don't take away those things. What the fuck are you talking about? And I asked you to give us something specifically for black people. I asked you to give me something specifically for black people. All of those fucking things that you mentioned are for Americans, not just black people.
What did Donald Trump do?
Fucking die. Just die. I don't give a shit. Die. Bye. Fucking racist. I'm sick of you. Get the fuck out of here. Double tap the screen. Double tap the screen because they're probably about to flag me. I can't. No. White people coming up here talking about what how Democrats have failed black people. What the fuck are we doing here? You guys don't know shit. You don't know why we lean the way we do. You want to talk about food stamps and HUD? That's what you reduce black people to? Friendly reminder, guys, 12% of the population benefit from SNAP. Only 12%. And the majority of people in SNAP or getting food from SNAP are white. Black people are the only one that they're represented in for the most part is HUD housing specifically. The majority of people who benefit from HUD subsidies are black. But the point is, those minorities who benefit from those programs, 40 million on SNAP, I forgot the amount in HUD, are not the majority of black people.
Call from
John.
John, you want to answer questions now? Do I need to tell you to go do a backflip off a balcony again?
I'm not the one getting all worked up.
Because you can't answer questions. You want to come up here and be racist and not be challenged.
God bless you.
Here we go.
Yeah, you're a fucking racist. You're a fucking racist. You came up here and talked about, yeah, goddamn right you are. You're goddamn fucking right you are. You want to keep proving the point? Do you want to keep proving the point? Do you want to keep proving the fucking point? You called into this line and you reduced black people to SNAP and HUD. That's what you reduce, not only black people, but democratic policies, which 80% of black people vote. So you're racist. You literally did. You said Democrats give you guys HUD and give you guys housing, SNAP and all these different things. Those aren't black policies.
So do the Republicans.
Those aren't black policies. Those aren't what the majority what Democrats have done for black people solely, because it wouldn't be for black people exclusively. I asked you to tell me what Republicans have done for black people, and you still have yet to answer that question. Do you want to know why? Let me tell you the problem with you. Let me tell you the problem with you brain dead, limp dick, fucking racist pricks. You guys want a bunch of black people to go vote Republican. None of you can give me a reason why. I open this platform up every single day, and I ask Trump supporters one question. If you have such an issue with us voting predominantly Democratic, tell me why I should go to the other side. And then you give me what? They encourage all people to get a job. The fuck? Democrats encourage all people to get a job. In fact, Democrats create the economies and they create the systems that encourage people to work. They fuel the majority of our GDP. 11 out of the 12 last recessions have happened under Republican administrations. You think that does a goddamn thing for black people?
I'll tell you what the Republicans are doing right now. That's a good thing, and it doesn't have anything to do. It has everything to do with people.
No.
Who are on the system. They're not
No.
allowing
You said
people to live
black
on the
people.
system.
You wanted to talk about black people. Tell me what they're doing for black people. And
Okay,
let's
I'll
start
tell
from
you.
2025
I'm gonna tell you what
onward.
Democrats do.
No,
They
I didn't ask you
threaten
about fucking.
vote
Do you have
for
a
them.
comprehension problem? Hey,
You won't let
what
me
are
speak.
Republicans?
You won't let me
Because
speak.
you're fucking stupid and you have a comprehension problem. What are Republicans doing for black people? That's what I asked you.
Well, Donald Trump, if you remember, what did he do to black people who were in prison for minor crimes? Do you remember?
The First Step Act was passed in Congress.
Yeah.
The First Step
Donald
Act.
Trump,
The First Step Act came
he's
off of
the one
Obama's
who,
administration, and that
pushed
act, what was
that.
it? First choice. I forgot what the name of Obama's act was. That was developed by Ice Cube and the ACLU. All Donald Trump did was sign it into law. That was bipartisan. And quite frankly,
Essentially brought to the floor by the Democrats.
thank you. Literally brought to the floor
Hey,
by the
do
Democrats.
you remember
Not to
what
mention,
Lyndon B-
not to
do you-
mention
do you
the
remember what
majority.
Lyndon B. Johnson
Oh, that's
said?
crazy.
Do you
Oh,
remember?
look at you. You
You
can't
know-
help yourself, can you?
So there's a
I asked you to
rumor-
tell me
there's a
what
rumor
Republicans
that
did,
Lyndon B.
and now you go,
Johnson
but
said
Lyndon B. Johnson. What's next? Let me guess.
Do you remember that rumor?
Democrats started the KKK, right? Democrats started the KKK.
Sure did.
You
They
know,
were the
Joe
party of
Biden said,
KKK.
"You're not
They were
black
the
if you
party
vote
of
for
slavery,
me."
too.
You know, did you
And-
know
and
that
the
Joe
Republicans,
Biden? Did you know that
fought
Joe
the
Biden
Civil War
ordered that
against
racist
slavery.
Richard Byrd,
They
the
sure
water
did.
boy for the Triple K? He sure did. Them damn demon Democrats. You just can't fucking keep them out of your mouth because that's all
exactly
you
right.
have. Thank you for proving
You
the
know,
point,
Democrats are
stupid
the
fuck.
party of
Thank you so
abortion.
much for proving the point, stupid fuck. The reason why the best you guys
How many
have
black
when it
people
comes
were
to
aborted by
criticism,
Democrat
when it comes to
policies?
criticism of Democrats, is
How
the
many
previous
people in
racists
your
that we had in the
race were
past is
aborted?
because Republicans have nothing
You know,
to
over
offer.
60
Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
I love that movie. Wild.
W's in the chat to Wesley Pillow for the $5 super chat. It's okay to get mad at these guests. Quit apologizing. We loved it. We needed to hear it all. I'm just tired of racists. I'm tired of racists hyper-focusing on the Democrats. I'm so sick and tired of that. And the best
Let's
they
get the
have is
taps
going
up to
back to the
500.
1900s. If you have to prove Republicans are good for black people by going to the 1900s, you lost the plot already. What are Republicans doing for black people? Well, the Democrats. Thank you for answering the question. Nothing. I'm going to calm down. W's in the chat to Jumar for the $2 Venmo. Bro, we appreciate the crash out. Don't even fret it. At this point, I'm apologizing to myself because now I have a headache. W's in the chat to Helen for the... Thank you so much, Helen, for the $15 Venmo. All Helen said was thanks. You are welcome. I do my best. Thank you so much. Alrighty. So... Trump supporters request up in the box you, the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. Here's a suggestion for you guys. Please don't be a white man calling in to speak on behalf of the black community unless you can tell me what Republicans are doing for them. That's the rule. If you are going to open up as a whole fucking paleface and talk to me about why black people feel left out by Democrats, you need to tell me what Republicans are doing in response. That's the rule. That's the rule.
From. To accept, press 1.
Caller, you're on the line. Did you vote for Trump?
I did not. I apologize for calling off of terms. I just wanted to say I appreciate everything you do. Thank you very much.
I do my best, man. Thank you so much. Trump supporters request up in the box you, the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. That was stupid of me to pour water over my keyboard, bro. That was stupid of me. Not much.
Let's get the taps up to 500K, guys. And remember that all Hector's stuff is in his bio. So show Hector some support right now while he's wiping water off his keyboard. because he doesn't know how to hit a cup or something. I don't know what's going on over there.
It's a small goddamn nozzle, okay?
Oh,
Just trying to pour too fast. Oh, my aim ain't what it used to be. My aim ain't what it used to be. What the fuck am I talking about? All you guys want to do is talk on black people. Say some bullshit about black people. Just keep us out of your mouths, bro.
Call from
Cardell.
Call, you're on the line. Did you vote for Trump?
Yes, I voted for Trump.
And do you regret your vote?
No, I do not.
Why is that?
So what?
Why is that?
Because he's the better option of the two that I had. What's going on so far is not that bad.
Okay. So,
yeah,
I'm gonna talk.
And I'm a black man. I'm a black man who voted for Trump, bro. Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So I want you to name me a Trump policy that was better than a Harris policy. The floor is yours.
You said name a Trump policy. I mean, everything that he's done so far.
I didn't ask you about everything. I asked you to name me a Trump policy. You specifically said.
I mean, you want me to name a Pacific?
Yes.
I don't.
Yes.
I don't have a list of policies. I keep up with it, but I don't have a. I mean, okay, look, I could name something. No tax on tips.
Kamala Harris also ran off of that.
That's not a good policy.
Kamala Harris also ran off of no tax on tips. Try again.
After Trump. Oh, come on, man.
No, it wasn't after Trump. Or I guess it was after Trump because
look.
she literally had less time to develop her campaign and put it out there compared to Donald Trump. Yes.
So you know what? One thing I can say, bro, I'm glad we able to have a conversation. Me as a Republican and you seem to be a Democrat, because that's one thing Democrats cannot do, bro.
I just need you to answer my question, bro.
Like, bro, we can have different opinions.
I just need you to answer my question, bro.
No, I'm just all right. What question did you ask, bro? Look, you acting like a Democrat, bro. Well, I'm just having a conversation with you.
I asked you a question. You went on to rambling about getting along. I just need you to
No,
answer
I'm
the
just
question.
saying, bro, we can have different opinions and have a conversation, bro, without being rude.
I'm aware of the fact that we clearly have
asked you
different
the question about
opinions.
the policy.
Check
What
this
other
out.
questions?
I go live 6 to 7 days out of the week, where my entire point of my live is to speak to people with different opinions. I understand the significance of those
good, bro.
conversations.
That's good.
So now I just need you to answer my prompts, please. You said he was the better option of the two.
Policy that I can think of off the top of my head.
Correct.
Yes.
You mentioned no tax on tips, in which case they both ran off the same thing. So you can't say one is better than the other. Although I actually can say Kamala Harris's no tax on tips was better because there would have been a loophole for the 1% and what they can label as tips specifically in their tax documents versus Kamala Harris's plan. But that's a separate conversation.
Harris's plan also was an increase in hourly wage because she said that the tips part of it. Excuse me,
Hold
sir.
on. Let my man finish, please.
Yeah, so Harris's policy actually wasn't just no tax on tips. It was also addressing the part that the industry pays some of their wages at like $2.75 an hour to $3.25 an hour. So, and the notion that Harris stole that from Trump, well, Trump actually got that policy from Ross Perot. Ross Perot ran on that in the mid 1990s. He actually ran on the no tax on tips policy.
Then there was Ron Paul, Bernie Sanders.
Look,
Yep.
I'll give you guys that. Okay, so you guys got that point. I will give you guys that since you want to say Harris, because I remember her saying it after Trump, but I will say something that she disagreed with Trump about that Trump is doing good with, and this is an easy one. Immigration. So I would love to hear you guys' defense about that. Stopping people from just crossing into our country without being properly vetted. You know, criminal, not every illegal is a criminal, but we do have criminals coming from other countries that come here and get into car accidents, rape little girls. What is your guys' defense with the whole Joe Biden and Kamala Harris supposed to be in control of the border? Do you guys have any defense for that?
Only 5% of the individuals in ICE detention currently have any violent criminal records. The vast majority of people that the Trump administration is rounding up have been non-violent offenders. And there was no quote unquote open border policy under the Biden-Harris administration. There was a pandemic fallout, which led to increased immigration across the entire world, specifically here in the United States, because we are one of the richest countries in the world. So those numbers skyrocketed, even under Title 42 that Donald Trump was able to implement because of a pandemic response. And Biden not only fought to keep Title 42 for a little while, but he had a border bill from day one, or Citizenship Act to be fair, with some border security, from day one of getting into the Oval Office. He is a legislative president, and they tried to legislate bills for 3 years, 2 years specifically, before they settled on S4361, which was actual bipartisan immigration reform, and then Republicans said no to it in the Senate.
Okay, so I would say you made some good points, but to get down to the reality of the situation, it's common sense that we shouldn't just let every single person who might be having a hard time in their country to just
Nobody did.
I can't just go to it. Look, man, we as Americans, we just can't go to a different country. Here, they have the right.
There's actually about 23 other countries that actually allow us.
So to be so upset about Trump for protecting our country, basically, from people coming in and just getting our resources, food stamps, housing. I mean, I don't see how
undocumented migrants do not qualify for any of those programs that you're referencing, and they haven't been able to since
illegal immigrants get
1996.
food stamps and housing, bro.
No, they do not.
They do not.
I live in Boston.
They do not.
So look, I'm from Detroit, Michigan, where it's 90%. I lived around all black people most of my life. I moved here to Boston. A bunch of Puerto Ricans. Not that I have anything against those people, but a bunch of Puerto Rican and white folks. And I see a lot of immigrants come here.
Can we get the likes up to 500K, please?
Stamps and they get housing. It's a such thing as fraud when it comes to food stamps. It's fraud when it comes to public housing. Yes, sometimes people squeeze through the cracks.
The majority of SNAP fraud has been administrative errors. This was confirmed by the Trump administration and Doge reports even. The majority of fraud is administrative errors, and they're not going to undocumented migrants. Only legally authorized immigrants in the United States can qualify for any of those programs that you're referencing. The only federally funded program that we have, or federally funded thing that we have for undocumented migrants, would be EMTALA. Do you know what EMTALA is?
Okay. Yes, sir. Yeah, yes, sir.
What is EMTALA?
I'm not illiterate.
What is EMTALA?
One argument I can make to prove you wrong.
What is EMTALA?
Hold on, wait. Listen, let me argue the point you just made. That's like saying there's no such thing as immigration law. There's no such thing as getting a fake ID or fake documentations to come into the country to qualify for these benefits. So let's just get that out of the way. Just to say illegal immigrants can't get food stamps and housing, bro,
if they cannot legally do so. If any of them are defrauding the government, we don't even have the numbers to show that they're doing it in mass. My guy, exactly. We don't have the numbers. I need you to listen closely to the words coming out of my mouth. First and foremost, if a bunch of undocumented migrants were defrauding SNAP and HUD and every other federal program that they otherwise do not qualify for under the ramping up of prosecutions with the DOJ and the FBI, we would have that reflected in those numbers. They don't. I want you to think about that. If you're saying, if you're saying en masse these migrants are doing so, the Trump administration has either A, been failing to prosecute those migrants for it, and B, don't have the numbers to prove what you're saying.
No, Trump, I'm pretty sure you've been keeping up with it, man. You're pretty well versed in the.
Which is exactly why I'm telling you what you're saying is incorrect.
So I'm telling you that.
And if they're fraudulently getting it, it would be no different from an American fraudulently getting some of those things, and that would be against the law, and then we can kick them off.
Americans did the PPP loan. They are. Sometimes it takes years. They're just now. It's 2026. And they started back in 2020. They're just now. They sent out a bunch of subpoenas and a bunch of arrest warrants for those people who did committed fraud. So yes, you're right. Sometimes it takes time to get caught up, but to say it's not happening, just like in Minnesota, where it's a bunch of Somali fraudsters doing fraud daycare. Not to say they all are. We know, okay, Somali frauds. They're not. Most of them are not illegal immigrants, but we know they come from a different country. Some of them have been nationalized or whatever you want to, nationalized citizens or whatever you want to call it. But like the fraud, it's $160 billion recently. I just looked at that has been found in federal fraud. So it's a lot of that going on.
Fraud happens in every single state. What
Correct,
is your point?
Sir, but
It happens by all groups of people.
It happens in a lot
And
of
if you're going to
Democrat
talk about Minnesota, yes, because that's where the
Democrat-run
population is.
states that
Yes,
they
in
ignore it.
democratic
The
states,
governor-
in democratic cities where highly concentrated groups of people are, that's where most people are concentrated. That's where most economies are thriving, and then they subsidize red states. That is where you're going to see more fraud. Duh.
Okay, yeah.
Not
I'll
to
give you
mention,
that.
there's
You have a
really
point.
no such thing.
Before you
Actually,
kick me off the
there
phone,
is no
I
such
just
thing as a major red city. I want to get that through your stick.
No,
There's
you have
no
it. It's
such
a lot of
thing.
Democrat cities, but
There
you know,
is
they
no
always point at
major
Florida
red
as
city.
a-
Do you
as
want to
a
know
red
why there
state.
is no major red city? Because
Because
Republican
in the
policies
city-
don't work in a city, and they quite frankly can't.
I would say because in the cities, black people tend to vote Democrat over 80, almost 90%. And you know,
It's
that
not black
kind of
people who make up the
frustrates me
majority of
because
cities, so that would have
we can
nothing to
sit
do
here
with
and
them
say
being blue.
The Republicans are racist. Okay, cool. I give y'all that point. Republicans is racist. Even though I'm a black Republican, hey, fuck it. I guess I'm racist against my own people, which is the craziest fucking thing ever. Why wouldn't I want the best? I'm a black man. Why would I side with white people to go against my own people? That's excuse my language, but it kind of frustrates me that I'm being that I can be labeled as some type of white supremacist. Like it's just crazy to me. I want the best for my people, and the best. I will vote for the best person.
You know what's crazy is how much he's lied since he's just been up here. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Black people.
W's in the chat to Bugsby for the $5 cash app. Here, Hector, damn. Much love, my nephew.
Kamala.
Like, come on.
Thank you so
Kamala.
much. He can't hear us. I muted it to do these PSAs. He's just going to fucking ramble. Thank you so much,
What's best
Bugsby. I
for the
appreciate
country
your
is gonna be
support.
what's best for
W's in the
black
chat to
people as
Above
well.
Infinity for
You
the
know what I'm saying?
$10
So we
super
can't
chat.
sit here and keep
Will you
breaking it down.
please
Oh,
tell this
what do
ingrade?
Republicans do? What do the
I think you meant
Democrats do for black
inbred.
people? Give
His
us
black
food
card
stamps
has been by his
and
own
child-
hand
you know,
revoked.
like, what-
Go white.
Like separate families, tell women. If you
Thank you so
want
much, Above Infinity.
more
I
food
appreciate
stamps
your
and housing,
support.
You have to be a single with no father in the home.
Are you done?
Like, let's be honest.
Are you
Like,
done?
Come on, bro. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
What is EMTALA?
You said what is what?
What is EMTALA?
EMTALA? I never heard of that, sir. Can you help me out?
Okay, I have a question for you.
Didn't he say he knew what it was?
If I go back, hold on.
Well, if I said that pardon myself. I'm not here
Okay.
to lie. I've never
Okay.
heard of that.
So-
if
so-
you can
so-
help me out without
Yeah,
making me
yeah.
feel like I'm
If
stupid,
I go
I
back,
would appreciate
if I go back in the stream, and I play the segment where I asked you several times what EMTALA was, and I asked you if you know what it was, and you say yes. If I play that for you and you hear
Bro,
it back,
excuse me. I
can you
just said
apologize
excuse
for
me if I
playing in
did-
my
if I
face?
misspoke. But if you can help me, it's okay if someone don't understand something. You tell them
It
what
is
You
okay
don't
if
try to
someone
make me
doesn't
feel like-
understand something.
Right, you just gotta make me
Hey,
feel like
the
I'm less than.
entire reason why I ask the questions that I ask is to give
just never heard of it,
clarification
huh?
to the people who may not know. But when those people lie to me and they say, yes, I heard it, yes, I know what it is, you make the conversation more difficult and, quite frankly, make me want to call you names. And I don't want to call you names. I really don't. But we can't get
Okay,
anywhere in
but
this
I just
conversation
excuse me,
if
but
you're just
pardon
saying yes
yourself.
to things you don't
Pardon
understand.
yourself, sir. I'm not. It's no point in me lying about knowing. I'm not sitting here acting like I'm the smartest person. I just know common sense. That's all I'm going off of. I know what we've been voting Democrats for.
How
What the
can you
black
learn
man
anything
said,
when all you
I
do is
know you
keep
said don't
talking?
go back into history, but I
How
know
can
it
you
was a
learn
black
anything
president
when
that
all
said,
you do
I'm
is
gonna
keep
have
talking?
these niggers voting Democrats for 200 to 100 years,
and he ain't lied.
That quote hasn't been
For some
substantiated.
reason-
We actually have
Man,
no
I don't
idea if
think
he
it was
said
Lyndon
it. Quite
Johnson or
frankly,
something.
even if he did, hey, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna play with that. Let's say he did say that. Let's say he did say that.
What you mean? Let's say it's
What
true?
reason?
you mean?
What reason would black people have to stop voting Democrat?
Because they're not doing. What are they?
Because
doing?
one white racist said
They
something
don't have
like
to
that.
work to get our
Because
vote.
one white racist was right about one thing, which is that Democratic policies was caused the majority of us to lean in their direction because the Republicans have fuck all to offer and third party isn't viable right now. A racist, or better yet, a broken clock can be right twice a day. So let's say he did say that shit. Sounds like the racist told the truth. I don't agree with the racism. I agree with the sentiment
You are
that
agreeing
until
with the racist.
is that I'm agreeing with the
You
racist or the
literally
racist
disagree
agreeing
with
with
the
us?
racist, bro.
Am I agreeing with the
Okay,
racist
so
or is the
look.
racist disagreeing with us? We'll be voting Democrat until this planet explodes because Republicans have nothing else to offer.
Okay, so what are the Democrat like? What type of policies do you really think that they represent that champions black people? Just like
The
real
Voting
talk,
Rights
man.
Act, the Civil Rights Act, maternal mortality for black women, increasing healthcare access to them, record-breaking
For
loans
abortion,
and
right?
investments in black
Do you know where that
communities.
policy came from?
I'm sorry,
Margaret
black
Sanger,
healthcare.
racist lady.
Do you know what maternal mortality is?
Bro, what the hell is you? I'm talking about.
I told you about increased healthcare access and maternal mortality awareness, and you said you brought up abortions.
God bless you.
Yes, okay, look, because
Thank
we're
you,
talking
Shauna.
about policies that help black folks, right? So the reason why I bring up abortion, because most abortions become in the black community where we are aborting our black babies. I think that's an important issue. That's why I bring it up, bro. Please don't try to make me seem like you know what I'm saying, bro. I'm trying to have a normal
When
conversation.
Obama
I don't
passed the
have a
Affordable
political
Care Act
science degree,
that ensured
you know?
millions of black Americans who otherwise did not have any alternative, that ain't got shit to do with abortion. Abortion is separate.
I'm not going to attack your. I'm not going to.
And the reason why abortions happen in black communities, the reasons why abortions happen in black communities at the rapid rate that they do is because the major reasons cited for abortions are financial hardship. Black people don't have money to raise families in this economy that is being worsened by this administration. If you want to address abortion, I agree with you. Let's reduce abortions in the black community. We do so by continuing to expand healthcare access to the degree of universal healthcare. We help black people have less abortions by also implementing DEIA policies that look at us and our qualifications who have otherwise been disregarded. We help black people have less abortions when our right to vote isn't disregarded, and we can vote on behalf of not only the representatives but the policies that overwhelmingly benefit us. That's how we reduce abortions in the black community, by creating a better America that represents black people in the way that it, quite frankly, has been pathetically doing so.
Okay, man. Look, I would like to say you make some good points. I would feel like you articulate yourself as a black man, arguing these
God bless you.
policies and
Thank you, Tay. It's a gift thing.
Oh, okay. So before you kick me off, because I know other people might want to call. So, do you actually think the Democrat Party? Do you think Kamala Harris would have been a better president? Kamala, excuse me. Kamala Harris would have been a better president. Would have been a better president than Donald Trump.
6,000%.
I'm just speaking.
7,000%, 10,000%, infinity. Economically,
we're not going to bring up.
Yes.
Excuse me. You said the proper word. Excuse me. But I'm not going to talk about the war in Iran because I don't think I'm a sexist to say this, but I don't think a woman in today's world will be able to handle those type of policies.
No, you're right. The woman who was on the 2024 ballot would not have been able to handle something as stupid as starting a war with Iran because they would have never considered it to begin with. 6,000%.
Okay, well, this is another topic we can talk about. So, okay, a lot of Democrats say that the war in Iran was stupid, but a lot of previous presidents, even Barack Obama himself, tried to address the issue in Iran.
With the JCPOA? Yes, you're correct. Barack Obama addressed the conflict with Iran with the JCPOA. He made a deal with them. $1.7 billion is in billions of dollars.
Right, and why would you give somebody money that you...
Because of a failed arms deal in 79. We literally fucked them over with a failed arms deal in 79. So as a sign of good faith, we gave them a little money. It was actually, what, $400 million specifically? The rest of it was interest.
I don't think it was smart, man. But look, let me say one thing.
I don't know how it was bad.
I'm pretty sure you are
Trump's
aware
proposing $300 billion.
Iran killed American soldiers. They've been a very terrorist state. They have been very aggressive.
The United States is the number one sponsor of terrorism. I don't know what your point is. Domestically, especially against your black ass. Fun fact. Yeah. So you want to have a conversation about terrorism. No one's going to sit here and deny that Iran's a bunch of a few people in Iran or the IRGC, Ayatollah are bad guys. But our concern was their uranium enrichment.
What about uranium
enrichment? No one's defending Iran, my guy. No one's defending Iran.
They actually kill women just by looking like women.
What do you think we're doing here in the United States? What do you think Donald Trump did with his Supreme Court justice picks who overturned Roe v. Wade when women, black women specifically, were dying in hospital parking lots because they didn't get the right health care they need? What do you think that did? What do you think takes place? What do you think takes place when record amounts of black women, 300,000 of them specifically, are unemployed in the first year and a half of Trump's administration? What do you think happens there?
I'm gonna let you finish your
What do you think happens with women, specifically in the Epstein files? What do you think happens with women, specifically in the Epstein files, when they look at one of the men alleged to have raped them on the Oval Office day in and day out, calling women pigs, telling them stupid bitches, revoking their access to the media? What do you think that does to women?
I would never defend. Okay, so can I answer your question, please? I would never defend any vile, nasty acts against no women here in America or anywhere.
Well, you guys love to talk about what's happening to women in Iran as if I'm going to sit here and say it's justified. I'm talking about all women everywhere, and I'm talking about specifically how domestically he is screwing over black women. He's screwing over all women with his actions, with his Supreme Court picks, with the governors that he supports.
That's why I'm not going to argue against that point. I'm telling you, I'm not here to defend.
But you support him over the black woman who did not or was not held civilly liable of the sexual assault of E. Jean Carroll, over the black women who address maternal mortality, because that predominantly affects women of color, specifically black women, who are 3 to 5 more times likely to die during childbirth because they don't have the proper access to health care. Over the black woman who doesn't have 34 counts of fraud on her under her belt, over the black woman who actually implemented in the state of California the Back on Track program, a program meant specifically or predominantly helped black men when they got any minor charges for carrying MJ and gave them a pathway to return back into society without a criminal record. Over the black woman who addressed truancies, because education is a huge issue in the black community or all communities. So she made sure that your parents took your black ass to school, otherwise they could be fucking prosecuted.
That's true, bro. I agree with you with that. But look, one thing I can
God bless you.
One thing that I can say, bro, I do not hate my country. My country is not perfect. We have a nasty, vile history. But I cannot just sit here. I'm not going to let something that other people did.
Is it time for the pool, y'all?
My country. So no, my country is not perfect.
Is it time for the pool?
But we are certainly better.
I think it's time, bro.
You know, just
I think I need to get off
when
this
it comes
app.
to human rights, women's rights. Is it?
We have one more guest. We may take this guy.
Perfect. But to compare us to Iran, I'm pretty sure you know some of the things that goes on in Iran when it comes to human rights. And definitely when it comes to women's rights.
I'm telling you about the issues that we have here in the United States when it comes to human rights and women's rights. We won't even acknowledge femicide.
I'm a black man in America.
We had several countries abroad that acknowledged and enshrined femicide into their laws. We refuse to do that. Do you know what femicide is?
Bro, what are you talking about?
Do you know what
So you
femicide
telling
is?
me? No, I don't. Can you help
Okay.
me? What's
Sure.
I know what
Femicide
feminism
is a
I know
H
that.
side or homicide specifically against women or female or femme-presenting
That
individuals
happens in Iran,
based off
right?
of their
Don't
sex.
that happen in Iran? They kill women. They can they almost have a right to kill a woman.
My
if
guy,
she
no
cheats.
one's justifying what's taking
God
place in
bless you.
Iran. Those women that you're so worried about, Donald Trump is
What?
blowing up.
No, he's not targeting innocent people, man.
We did.
Have you seen?
We did when we killed
look,
over
one thing I can
160
say,
Iranian
I've
children
seen women,
in a
I've seen
school
women from,
that
I've
they
seen
refuse to
women from
acknowledge to this
Iran.
date.
So look, have you tried to listen to some of the people in Iran speaking about this? They said we're glad Trump doing this.
Yes,
We're glad
some people
Trump
said
is
we're glad
bad
that Donald
for
Trump is
them.
fixing the problem. The
You know, I would
my
rather
guy,
listen to the
the
people
problem
that's
is.
living,
Go ahead, Ford.
that's living in that, that's
This
going
is-
through that. They are happy that he's trying to kill some of them
There's-
evil leaders that they have. That has
There's
been
no
ruling
provable
over them.
evidence. There's no provable evidence as somebody that's an independent journalist that there is a widespread protest in support of U.S. activity or U.S. military actions in Iran. What we do see after the 165, after the, please let me finish. Stop over talking because you can't learn anything when you just continue to talk and ramble and you're talking about shit that you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Instead, you're just up here spewing a bunch of propaganda and goddamn lies for the people in the fucking comments to hear your bullshit. Now, if you want to fucking learn, shut your goddamn mouth and let me teach you.
You have the right to have your opinion, so do I, bro.
Let him finish his sentence.
My statement.
Let him finish his sentence.
So there was 165. There was a fact that there was 165 children that were double tapped by the U.S. military. There is a simple fact that there was 20 facility employees that were there that were actually unalived due to the incompetence of the Trump administration. It is a known fact that there was 13 members of our U.S. service members, military, that were unalived due to the Iran conflict or war.
Okay.
Now, what we do know,
I don't
according to
agree
the
with that.
JCPOA,
If
I'm
that's
still
true-
talking. According to the JCPOA,
Okay, bro,
we
calm
got
down,
we got
bro.
the
We gonna talk, we
we
gonna
got the
talk,
enrichment
bro.
of
You're not about to
uranium
sit
from
here and
Iran.
do all that.
We got the
I
enrichment
was
of
just having
Iran
a
to go
good-
down
we
to
was having a debate.
3.67.
Hey caller, he's barely talked this entire time. Can you shut up and let him finish?
No, bro, don't be rude about it. That's all I'm saying.
Then stop
bro. You trying to
interrupting
help the
him.
debate.
Then
All right.
stop interrupting him.
If he say, let me
Shut
finish, I'm gonna let him finish.
up. Oh my
So-
God.
So according to the JCPOA, which the
hung
IAEA said that Iran was 100% complying, Iran was at 3.67%. We didn't have to have unalive any U.S. service members. We didn't have to unalive any children. All we had to do was hand up $400 million that went to $1.5 billion because of interest rates from a 1979 arms deal that we screwed Iran over on.
Why can't these people shut the fuck up tonight? They can't shut up. W's in the chat to the one mighty pen for the $10 super chat. I forgot to report for duty earlier, bought by 8475. Also because I like to see your cute face. Thanks for all you do. Thank you so much, Mighty Pen. I appreciate you. W's to the one Mighty Pen. W's in the chat to Wesley for the $2 super chat. Why can't a single caller shut their mouth? Exactly. None of them. W's in the chat to Wesley for the $5 super chat. I don't care what Iran does in Iran because I don't vote in Iran. My vote can't change Iran's policy. I vote for the American policies. Not to mention, if you're that worried about what's taking place to women in Iran, you absolutely would vote Democrat. You 6,000% would vote Democratic if you cared about what's happening to women in Iran. Thank you so much, Wesley. What's this guy's name? Lek, did you vote for Trump? Lek, did you vote for Trump? While he's figuring that out, he'll probably be our last guest. If we get one more caller, maybe, but he'll probably be our last guest. I'm tired, guys. I'm burnt out. I am sick of these people fucking over talking me. I'm sick of people just rambling on about shit that they don't know. And I say this day in and day out. I create this space for people to learn. If you call in and you have a genuine question and you want to learn something, I am here to teach you. I am tired of debating people on things they don't know. I'm tired of people calling in and saying, I know what EMTALA is, and then be like, I've never heard of that before. Please elaborate. Because you guys' problem is that you speak before you think. You don't process. You just
and then not
wanna
shut
go.
up and let you then not shut up so you can explain it to them.
Thank you. That was crazy. I'm clipping that shit. Do you know what EMTALA is? Do you know what EMTALA is? Yes, I do. Tell me what EMTALA is. Well, let me finish. He finished. Go back. Do you know what EMTALA is? Never heard of it before. I should have cussed him out then. I should have cussed him out then. What are we doing? These people are not, they're not well. They're not well. Any case, I don't know what's happening with this guy. He's not coming off of mute. This is going to be the final call. This is going to be the final call. Trump supporters, request up in the box. You are the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. If you're not following me, hit that follow button in the top left corner. We are live every Saturday after 3 p.m. CST and randomly throughout the week. Also, make sure you're sharing out the live. Don't worry about the shares, actually. I don't care about shares right now. Let's knock out this last little live goal there. Send your daily heart me's if you haven't already. Send your daily heart me's. It's super important you do that once a week for 1 coin. Helps boost us out in the FYP, and you get access to a couple cool stickers when you do. Please make sure we're following forward. I don't remember if you hosted your live. Did you used to host live? You mostly paneled.
No, I used to host lives all the time, and it just got to the point to where all I really wanted to do was just debate and educate, and it got to the point to even as hosting it, I could no longer do that. So I decided to go up on panels, even though I was generating 400 or 500 people in my lives. My most important thing when I'm up on panels is hopefully people will want to have an actual conversation to where we can teach them on what is actually transpiring as far as statistically and facts of what is actually happening in the United States.
My first live was asking me questions about Kamala Harris. That was my first live, September of 2024. I started getting on TikTok in July specifically, when Kamala Harris stepped up. It was June when it was about Biden, and then July, Harris. And I was listening into lives. I started doing some research or doing some reading. Mind you, at that time, I was doing Uber full time at that time. So literally, I was listening into lives. I was listening into debates. I was listening into rallies of Kamala Harris, of Donald Trump. Excuse me, those ones were the worst. I was listening into different podcasts. I was listening into MSN and all these different things, and I was educating myself, right? And then once I got enough information, I decided to start hosting lives. And my first live was Ask Me Questions About Kamala Harris. And I will never forget this. I'll never forget this because everyone thinks that I want to be debating people on a daily basis. I literally open up these conversations to talk with people. Y'all just want to debate shit you don't know. I will never forget my first live, the second one and the third one specifically, to where I realized no one wanted to talk. Everyone wanted to argue the same stupid talking points. Everyone wanted to come up and tell me that Kamala Harris wasn't black, and they couldn't name who the fuck her father was. Everyone wanted to come up here and tell me that Kamala Harris under Joe Biden shut down the Keystone Pipeline. Not only did they not know that there were 2 fucking pipelines, Keystone and Keystone XL, but they don't know that June or July of 2020, it was the Supreme Court. It was the Supreme Court who really shut that shit down, and then Biden comes in his term and said, why are you beating a dead horse? Everyone wanted to argue with me about the fact that Kamala Harris was the border czar, and then she was never named so by Joe Biden.
God bless you.
Like, it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. And here we are. You guys don't want to learn anything. You don't want to have civil conversations. You just want to be right. And you'll say anything to sound smart. You'll spit it out really fast. You'll use your same old common talking points, but you have no substance. None. Just think deeper. I promise you, think deeper. It'll help you substantially.
The crazy part is 4 years later, or 5 years, 6 years later, we're still debating on whether the Keystone Pipeline XL and the Keystone regular pipeline, because they can't read.
Bro, I had a guy doing that last week. Last week, somebody brought that up.
I literally have to pull up a map and show them that it's 2 different pipelines.
I hate it here. Alrighty, I don't think we're getting another call, but we are waiting for 600K. I do want to hit 600K before we wrap up, so please double tap that screen the next couple of minutes. Let's get the likes up to 600K. If we get a call in between, then we'll go ahead and argue it. Better yet, I may let Ford do it because Ford's calmer to me right now. But just double tap the screen. Let's get the likes up to 600K. Links in the bio are going to be the best ways to support the platform, the absolute best ways to support the platform. First and foremost, make sure you're following me on all the ones that I have currently. That's going to be Instagram, that I post the videos I put up here.
God bless you.
Thank you guys for the gifts. And YouTube, though, dual streaming to right now, both at Hector Talks with 2 R's. Also, make sure that you are joining the Discord community. We're going to do a movie night this week. I'm shooting for maybe Tuesday or Wednesday night. I'll keep you guys posted on that, but I know we're doing one this week. In the Discord, we have our movie nights. A lot of the stuff you hear me cite here, I'll have posted there for your reference as well. We have our regular chats. You may also choose to subscribe there if you like, but the Discord is free. The Discord is free to join. You may choose to subscribe there if you want to support me. Also, check out our merchandise on the merch shop at hectorshops.com with 2 R's. hectorshops.com with 2 R's. We have a couple of different lines there, such as Kamala would never make 2 + 2 = 4 again. 6,000%. It's okay to call people stupid. That's my favorite at this point. And what's the other one? 10 Commandments. And if you use the discount code WeAllWin, you get 10% off your entire purchase. At least until today. I'm taking that shit away in June. Then what else? What else is there? What else is there? There's information on We Are What's Left, the organization that I'm a part of. There's also my email for any serious inquiries. I know I have 2 to respond to. I'll get to that at some point. What else? Links. If you want to donate to me directly, if you'd like to donate to the ashwagandha /shot/boba fund, feel free to do so. If you want to donate to the Hairline Restoration Fund, because Trump supporters pull it out on a daily basis, do so. And while you're at it, please make sure I'm saying just as many thanks as Ford here is. Make sure you're gifting him with gifts, and also hit up his links in the bio if you want to support everything that he does. In fact, let's get him up to 4,000 coins. He's right at 3,759. I would greatly appreciate if you guys helped him get to 4,000 coins while we're here. Those of you over on the YouTube side, please make sure that you hit the like button on the stream, subscribe, turn on notification bells as well. Thank you guys for your super chats, your super stickers, and your memberships, and those are the best ways to support if you're over on that side. If you want access to everything in the link tree, please hit the description of this live stream, and that will take you to all the same things. Oh, this is actually really cool, Palpable. Holy shit, Palpable, I'm assuming you don't mind me showing this to them because you posted it in the Discord. This is really cool.
It said something about, that they're going to send you something on Discord. Yeah, they said it in the chat.
So Palpable is an artist, and Palpable drew Wonder Woman. And I think this is actually really freaking good. This is pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
W Palpable. W Palpable. Let's go. Oh, it's because of my Wonder Woman poster in the back? Yeah. I'm a big Wonder Woman fan.
That's crazy good. I can barely draw stick people, and this person is like doing something crazy.
I'm going to show YouTube in a second. YouTube, we're going to have this set up. I'm shooting for next month. We're going to figure it out next month. But I'm going to have everything set up to where you guys can see everything that TikTok can. I just have to completely reroute my audio. So give me a month, bro. Give me a month so we can get that set up, because I have to do it on a new computer. This computer is struggling as it is. So we're going to have to do a new computer. All right, here it is, YouTube. This is Palpable's Wonder Woman drawing. And let me put
and Palpable says that she does do work on commission. So if you want to, she's actually in the chat, TikTok, you can follow her. And if you want something done on commission, she's obviously an artist that could be, we could show some support to. If you want something done, I'm sure you can inbox her and she'll do something up. Someone with that much talent could probably draw anything.
6,000%. There you have it, YouTube. That is the Wonder Woman drawing. Palpable. Does commissions. W Palpable. W Palpable. As long as Palpable stays consistent with that, that's a damn good drawing. It's a damn good drawing. All right.
I just want somebody to buy me paper. Crazy.
Hey, paper's going up too. Everything's going up, man.
Damn inflation.
It's ruining everything. Alrighty. Wait, where's Mel? Let me see if
Guys,
I
we
can
need
bother me.
19,000 likes. Remember, Hector said that we don't want to close this down till we get to 600K. So for Hector, let's keep tapping the screen up. Remember, all the links are in the bio for Hector. And then just all I ask for me is just to follow. That's it. So people can continue to learn. Other than that, that's all I want to do is just be able to teach people the difference between fact and fiction, and to make sure that the facts outweigh the lies that continuously spread on TikTok. And it needs to no longer be tolerated, because the lies are spreading faster than what the truth is. And that's how we end up with people like Trump. And that's how we end up with representatives in the Republican Party that continue to spread this and get away with it. It's because there's not enough people willing to spread the truth and speak the actual truth.
And those people that are doing it right now, specifically on this app, suppress the hell. A lot of my mutuals, I'm seeing differences in their numbers. Some people have been able to weather it better than others. I know I can speak for myself and others. It's been rough. Like some of the videos that are being taken down, the ridiculous flags that we're getting. Honestly, I'm gonna have to write I'm actually in a specific Discord and group of TikTok creators that can actually get something to the team. I'm really going to throw a fit about the fact that I can't seemingly show people sources now, because you guys are saying it is unoriginal, unproduced content. Like, that doesn't make any sense. That's ridiculous. So you're making it more difficult to educate people, because you know what they always say: show your source, show your source. They never have any sources, but show your source. And I enjoy doing it because I actually have them. And now you're going to flag me for teaching people. That vexes me to my core. The entire reason why we got up to 700 people and then it dropped down from there to 500-600 we managed for the last hour and a half is because they fucking flagged me. And then they took me off the FYP because I showed the Google source that I was referencing the first guest. That is ridiculous. They're making it harder to teach people, and that's fucking crazy. So please make sure you're going out of your way to support your creators who are still out here doing the work to the best of their ability. And that doesn't always mean financial. I'm the first to tell you, Donald Trump's economy is fucking up with everyone. It's fucking with my business. The samples I was supposed to show you guys Thursday, still don't have them. And one of them was supposed to come yesterday. So he's screwing over with everyone. So when I say support your creators, I'm not just talking about financially. Double tapping that screen, putting your comments down there, sharing out the live. All of those are free ways that you can engage and boost this out to as many people as possible. And then to the rest of you who have generational wealth, hit up the links in the bio.
Facts.
Oh, W600K. W600K. On that note, I was trying to get Mel in here to do horoscopes, but I'm tired and she didn't respond in time. So another time. I do not regret my vote, but I do not regret my vote, but I am 100% not in support of him anymore. Ready for his impeachment for the 25th to be revoked. Am I tripping, or does that feel like a load of crap? I don't regret my vote, but I am 100% not in support of him anymore. So essentially saying you don't regret it, but you still support him. It's just not 100%. First and foremost, you guys have really got to stop supporting any politician 100%. That shit's crazy to me. Secondly, I don't know how that helps anyone. You're supporting the impeachment, but are you voting for those people who are pledging to try to do so in the midterms? That's all that matters. Eesh. I don't get that. That's a load of crap.
I don't get it. Like, you should never, like you said, you should never support a candidate 100%. I never supported everything that Harris's policies. I never supported all of Biden's policies or Obama's policies. And I think historically, you're going to have Biden and Obama probably go down as the two greatest presidents, just of what they had to face. Obama had to face the economy crisis. Biden had to face, of course, a pandemic and an economic crisis, not alone being one of the best legislators presidency of the past like 60 years. So I think there are a lot of things that are going to benefit, but there's still things within their presidencies that ultimately I didn't accept or I didn't like. Like Obama, I didn't like some of his immigration policies, and I didn't like that he opened up Guantanamo Bay for immigrants. I didn't like that. I spoke out against it ultimately and literally wavered whether I was going to continue to support him off of that. But that's because we are able to be able to differentiate the two of unwavering support and actually being able to call out those that are in our party that are doing things that we don't necessarily agree with.
Exactly. I can say that Obama and Biden did amazing things. I can say they did some really bad things. And I can say that despite my compliments for them, we can do better. We can do better in 2028.
Mm-hmm.
We absolutely have to do better in 2028. Because not only do we have to motivate people on our base who feel like it doesn't matter anymore, which is crazy, but whatever. I understand the sentiment. But we gotta turn some shit around. Things are bad. And like,
well, the one thing I always argue, Hector, is like within the Democratic Party, we have a lot of diversity, right? So we have the left wing, we have the far left wing, and then we have moderate and we have centrist Democrats. What I challenge the Democratic Party to do, and all those within the Democratic Party, is vote to get a portion of what you want. Not vote because you want to get 1 out of 10. Vote because you want to get the 6 out of 10. And stop being so selfish to where you sit out a vote because you couldn't get a damn peanut butter on your sandwich. Instead, be thankful that you got the jelly there and go ahead and eat the damn sandwich.
6,000%. I actually have a fantastic video to show y'all to pick up on that. Didn't you call before?
Yes, I did. Have you calmed down?
Oh, you're the racist fuck.
As every Democrat calls the other side.
Do you remember what I told you the last time I hung up the phone on you?
It's always that you're a racist, misogynist, a white supremacist.
Do you remember what I told you the last time I hung up the phone on you?
Exactly what you just
now
told
try a somersault.
me.
So,
Bro, you did that so straight-faced. That was so funny about that, man. You were like, now do a somersault. And you just, same facial expression, and then you started laughing after I started laughing.
I meant that shit.
Crazy.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, get this block, bro. Never mind. Hit this block. Hit this block. So, let me show y'all this video. Hold, please. Because it's very important. It's a very, very good video. And honestly, I'm going to start using this example. I have my few. But this was a great example that I saw. Did I save it? I hope I saved it. I know it's on my story, but let me see if I saved this video. And then we're going to find someone to raid. YouTube, I have you guys set up to raid Santana. His live is upcoming, though. He's not live at this current moment, but it's upcoming. Can I watch my story on browser? Oh, can I watch my story? Oh, not me playing my own stream. Hold on. I'm about to get it for y'all. Let me pull it up here. And links. Let's look at story. So first and foremost, if you're in Texas or in general, he's a really great creator. He breaks down a lot of the data and the importance of, say, things like ranked choice voting. That's a new thing that a lot of leftists are saying. I'm not voting for anyone unless we get ranked choice voting, blah, 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 blah. And he showed that while Democrats overwhelmingly aren't necessarily for ranked choice voting, the majority of people who are reside in the Democratic Party. So literally, the closer you get closer to ranked choice voting by voting Democrat, right? Versus Republicans who don't want that shit at all because they'd lose every goddamn election afterwards, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's called progression. So like literally, I speak about this on lives all the time. It's where if you vote for the Democratic Party, if you look at the Democratic Party back in the 2016, even 2012 election, we've moved further to the left. We've moved further to universal health care, to affordable housing. We've moved further to the left. If we continue to vote and we continue to win elections, the Democratic Party will continue to move more to the left. And at some point, you're going to get the majority of the Democratic Party that's going to be for universal health care, that's going to be for affordable homes, that's going to be for ranked choice voting, to where we have a better chance to get that if we continue to just vote and keep Democrats in power.
6,000%. Here we go. Found the video. So let me post it here in the Discord. So I put in the live chat of the Discord, and y'all about to see it. YouTube, you're about to hear it. Let me put that up on the screen. because I just thought this was a very simple way to break it down. I think it would help a lot of people, to the people who want to listen. Screen share and load. You said Brett was on? Didn't we raid Brett last night? We'll raid someone else. We raided Brett last night. Let's put this up.
I don't see Santana, and I know Eric is on vacation.
His live is scheduled. It's upcoming, so I was able to send it to his like upcoming live. People will wait in the lobby on YouTube, and he'll start up whenever on YouTube, TikTok. But I'll raid someone who's live right now on TikTok. Also, hold on. Let me see. Maybe if I take down the URL section, they won't flag me. Let's see. Maybe that's the issue. I don't know. Or if they see, maybe it's the branding. Maybe because they see TikTok, they flag you. I don't fucking know. Let's find out. We're about to end anyway, so I don't care if they flag me. Okay, so let me start this video over.
Important to do We're not gonna vote our way out of this. Do you brush your teeth? That seems random, but no, ask yourself if you brush your teeth and you understand the reason why you should. Because what is brushing your teeth? Well, you're replacing everything that's stuck on your teeth with fluoride and those other chemicals that are in toothpaste. Brushing your teeth is objectively harm reduction. Will it fix everything? No, but it is objectively better than not doing it. In fact, if you have cavities or an infection, brushing your teeth is actually even more important, even though it's not going to fix those things. It's not going to make the pain go away. It's not going to make your teeth grow back, but it will objectively make it less bad than it could be while you're trying to work on those other issues. And right now, our country has a lot of infections and cavities, and chances are all of our metaphorical teeth are probably going to have to be replaced. But that makes it more important to do every available option that you have, even if it doesn't fix everything. Not less. And if you're somebody who's just going to wait until everything magically gets fixed before you start brushing, you're the kind of person who is actively making the situation worse. We're not gonna vote our way out of this.
Any disagreements?
I never thought of it that way before. That's great.
That was fantastic. That was brilliant. That is Nick Powers. To my knowledge, he's on all social medias except for YouTube. To my knowledge, he may have a YouTube. I just don't know about it. Nick Powers, or better yet, that Nick Powers guy. If you look for Nick Powers, you'll find him. Fantastic creator. He is very, very, very wise. And he's not pro-Democrat. Like, he's not all about the Democrats. That's another thing I can't stand. When you hear us talking about voting Democrat, a lot of people think that we love them. I don't. I mean, I love the values that they allegedly stand on and when they try to enforce them, and then other times they fall behind. The establishment, the upholding of uncapped capitalism, they're very big issues. However, we don't have a good alternative. And then to the people working inside the party to give us the wins that we want, what good does it do to hurt them by not voting for them? What good does it do to continue to demonize them? Like, I don't know. And I have a perspective on this specifically as a black man, because black people historically, you give them two piles of shit, they're going to get the one that stinks less, and they're going to do what they can moving forward. We don't have the privilege to sit on our asses and go, whoop-de-doo, whatever. So not voting is a privileged ass take. Accelerationists are also privileged as shit. And black people have never had that privilege, which is why you see us vote the way that we do. With that being said, someone told me Santana's live was scheduled for tomorrow. I did not look at the date. I don't know why he schedules them that early, but I guess you will not be rating him over on the YouTube side. But for the TikTok side, we can go check out. Let's see. There's Mermaid.
Yourself, in my opinion.
Mermaid just started. Manda Rose. What's Mermaid doing? Let's see what Mermaid's doing.
The facility.
Absolutely love her.
Mermaid doesn't even have a sticker up. I don't think she's doing debates. You'll probably want to hear some debates. Maybe we can do Brett. So other than that, there's Manda. Santana's on in 2 minutes. Oh. Why did they tell me that it was scheduled for later? Hold on. Somebody playing me? Or maybe I'm reading things wrong. Guys, I'm tired. And this headache's not getting any better. I gotta go take something. So I have a scheduled live scheduled June 1st at 8:30 a.m. So I guess he's doing a random live because the ones I'm looking at that are scheduled are for tomorrow. The scheduled ones that he has. Thank you, Nep. I appreciate you. The scheduled ones that he has is tomorrow. Y'all want to wait? Y'all want to wait? We'll wait for Santana. Actually, fuck that man. He's good. He's good on his numbers. I'm tired, bro. Go wherever you want to go. Go wherever you want to go. I appreciate you guys.
Hey, let's do this, Hector. Let's go raid Cred. Has anybody ever seen? Is like
I know Cred. Is he live?
Yeah. Very, very smart. Probably doesn't get quite the traction that he deserves, and I mean that in the most positive way possible. And I think there's a lot of content creators out there that have really good content that just don't get the traction that they necessarily deserve. So I think maybe I don't know. It's your live, obviously, but I think I'm probably going to go over there to Cred and just check out his live.
What's his username again?
Somebody put in the chat.
I'm looking here. Because I think I'm following him on my backup, but not my main Street Cred Words.
Street Cred. Yes, that's it. Yes. Okay.
Cred Words.
I hate names. They're my weakness.
And his live is Why Blue Collars Reject the Left. MAGA doesn't care about corruption. Ooh, okay. We'll go here. We'll go here. Because I am familiar with Cred. I often see him up on Queen V. Lee's and Just the Bill's lives. He is a very smart man. He's a good guy. He knows his stuff. So let's go show some love to the little guys. Y'all be trying to tell me to raid these big creators all the time when we have some smaller people who can use the help as well. And if y'all did that shit to me when I was a smaller, I still am a smaller creator compared to some of these people. But when I had a little 1,000, 2,000 followers, I wouldn't be here today. So let's show the little guys some love. All right. I want you guys to raid Street Cred Words. Street Cred Words. Unfortunately, he's not live on YouTube. He doesn't have a YouTube. So y'all go wherever the hell you want. But those of you on the TikTok side, raid Street Cred Words. Make sure that you say Hector Raid. Hector Raid. Do it for one of two reasons. One, let them know the love and support is coming from me. And two, to stroke my ego. Ford, would you like to give the people your final thoughts?
No, I just think, for one, I would thank you, Hector, for allowing me up on your panel today. Obviously, you know that I've watched you from a distance in the comments, and your debating style has gotten so much better. So I appreciate the lives that come on here and try to do the exact mission that I do when I go up on panels and try to just fact check as an independent journalist and everything like that. The only thing that I, and thank you for the coins, which I really don't care much about that. I'd rather you support Hector and the other creators.
You're just gonna throw it at other people anyway.
If you want to see what I actually do, and then the content that I actually, the news that I actually bring, you can actually go to X and just type in Ford Jonathan 5. It's 116,000 followers, and it's actually where I get monetized.
Okay.
Is there? So if you go there, you click the view it. Obviously, I get viewed upon how many people actually view the posts that I create, if that's where you want to support. But here on TikTok, I just come up on panels because I want to show love, obviously, to people like Hector, who has grown so much over the past time and has gotten so much more knowledgeable. And we should be very thankful that they allow the platform. And I'm grateful that he allowed me to come up here today. That's it.
Thank you so much, man. You're more than welcome at any time. You heard the man. I'm sure all of those are available in the links in his bio. Y'all know me. When it comes to monetization for doing this work, I am pro that. I am big time grift, because this shit is the time it takes to gather the information that we do, to stay up to date, to post it, to put in video content or however else and get it to you guys. It's not easy. And it costs money to do a lot of this stuff, or we're losing money in some cases doing some of this stuff. So it's super duper important. Anything that you can do to support a creator, to help them financially, please do so. So if you have an X account, go straight to his username right now. Go find it, get it done. Thank you so much, Ford, for coming up. I appreciate you, man. You're more than welcome. Anytime.
Absolutely.
Thank you. W's Ford, man. W's Ford. Ford, I remember Ford from I want to say maybe late 2024 or early 2025, but he's definitely one of the When I say oldest, I'm not talking about his age. Oldest TikTok mutuals that I've had on this app for some time. And one thing about him, he knows those numbers. He gonna get you them data. I may be able to recite it. I'm not as good as pulling up some of it the way he is. He knows his shit. So follow forward. All right, let's go raid cred. YouTube. If you have TikTok, you can go to Street Credwords. You can go to Street Credwords. I'll put it in the chat. To my mods who were posting my link tree, I kept forgetting to pin it. I apologize. If there's any other messages I missed, I apologize. But thank you guys over there on the YouTube side for the likes, the shares, the comments, the subscriptions, the super chats, the super stickers, and the memberships. It all helps a ton. I promise to crash out less next time. That was just God. It's been a while since I've had a live where I just could not talk because people wouldn't shut the fuck up enough. So we'll do better next time. But I will catch y'all